The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
You know, it's the evening, the night before Thanksgiving, and I'm just going to let you know what I'm thankful for right now. I'm thankful for Wolfie to allow me to do the intro for tonight. I'm grateful for Aries for just being Aries. I'm grateful for Raven Shadow not being here when I'm doing the fucking intro. Where the hell are you, you prick? I'm grateful for Mars because he's going to be here soon, and I'm grateful for that because he's bringing along with us, for us, Arkham Josh, and I'm most thankful for that. So let's get wild and woolly. It's going to be a fun night tonight, the night before Thanksgiving. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 330 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we don't have a new guest for New Guest November.
Oh.
Well,
Can we just grab somebody off the street?
too bad it's not a very busy street that
Yeah. Well, we'll just hit the convenience store down the road and just grab somebody.
So I don't know if there was communication issues or if there was or what, but we were going to have a guest. We were going to have Brandon from Vinegar Syndrome, but there might have been a mix-up. So we do not have a new guest. However, we do have coming very shortly.
Ooh.
Someone who hasn't been on the show in a long time, as MZ mentioned, Arkham Josh. And so you know what? It's been so long. He's a virgin all over again.
Yep.
That's not
So-
how it works, though, I don't think.
No. If you go long enough, you start all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take me, for example.
I ain't that fucked up yet.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where I think I've forgotten what a vagina actually looks like.
A what? A vagina? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is anymore.
Vagina.
What does it look like?
You ever see Predator?
Like one of those,
I don't doubt that.
You ever seen the movie Teeth?
like one of those change purses your grandfather would have in the bank.
Yeah.
With
One
the
of
little,
those change purses?
yeah. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that.
And here he is.
Yeah.
Here's our guest.
Who's that guy?
Oh, Dynamo Mars?
No, the other guy next to him. I haven't seen him before. Tell him what you said.
All right. Well, we have Dynamo here and our guest.
Did you have it? We were worried that you weren't going to get a seat ready for him because of all the particular logistics everybody needs, but I'm glad that Wolfie probably spearheaded that.
No, it's actually Aries.
Oh, good. See, that makes sense too. Well, one of these guys is handicap, another one's a scorpion. Like, you have no idea. Like, he's not gonna change.
No.
Which,
He
by the
hasn't
way, I
in
realized on the way home
330
the other day
episodes.
that's not what you're not a scorpion. Scorpions are extremely untrustworthy. Like this.
What?
What?
Consider the source.
Trust him to show up here
No.
when we're doing the intro.
No, well, first of all, despite all of his other things, I would trust
Things.
I would trust Michael Raymond Shadow with my last dime. So I would not say that he is a scorpion. Like, if a scorpion fucking stung himself on purpose to make his life hard, then he would be like, what animal does that? But he's not a scorpion. Like,
So
that's
he's
a bad thing.
so
to
he's
do.
a liar then? Because he's the one that says it.
I know, he just doesn't understand. This is like Finnish flash facts and stuff. He probably I'd like him to pick out a scorpion in a lineup before he identified with it, because he doesn't know. Like,
Hank Scorpio.
yeah. That's
Well-
okay. Well, that's all right.
What astrological sign are you, Raven Shadow?
I'm a Capricorn.
What the fuck is a Capricorn?
It's a magical.
It's like a unicorn.
yeah.
I think it's like a unicorn fish.
That wears capris.
No,
What's the symbol?
Is somebody wearing clam diggers?
What's the symbol for a Capricorn?
it's a big, very magnificent beast with a tail.
Big, magnificent beast.
No,
with
you're
a
thinking
tail.
that's not what a Capricorn is.
Yeah, they're
You're
like
thinking of an Aries, which is what I am.
no, they're like
No, that's a ram.
Asgardian goats, aren't they?
Maybe. I think you mean rams, and that's an Aries. Leos are the lions. Capricorns. I don't know what Capricorn is. I can't think of it.
I think it's
Pisces is fish.
I think-
Don't date a Pisces. That's for sure.
Oh. I actually had a conversation about astrological signs yesterday. It
How'd that go?
was pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff about the Capricorn. I think it's like a goat, right? It's a goat.
I don't know. I'm looking. Trying
It's
to
a
find out.
unicorn. Oh my God, Aries' phone looks like a fucking mother box.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's got horns. That's a goat, right?
Oh yeah, you're a goat. Yeah, you're a goat.
Yeah, this one looks like
You're like a devil worshipping goat.
yeah. See, that's fucking exactly what I am, Johnny.
So he's not a scorpion. He's a devil worshipping goat.
Yeah, the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time.
Thank you, Dynamo.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because like a scorpion, despite also the dishonesty thing, like they're not particularly
Scorpions
rigid.
are dishonest?
No, I don't. Well, that like scorpions aren't trustworthy. You know, like a scorpion or a snake. There's like or a rat. Those are all like animals that aren't like trustworthy. Like scorpions, I don't like. I think they move around a lot. Like you're being rigid. Like they don't fucking hurt themselves. That's for sure. They like have a very good survival mechanism. Like I would say, scorpion is about exactly the opposite. Like I can't think of anything less. Otter.
He's an
Lemmy.
otter?
He's an otter.
Yeah.
So I swim in the water and do
Yeah.
kind of cute little things with my hands.
Right. He does do those things minus the water. So
That's fair.
that's at least as good.
But
But
I'm
Aries knows animals. He's out in the woods. Like, what's an equivocal animal here? Help me out.
I'm staying as far away from this as possible.
Why?
This is very racist.
This is
Or speciest.
this is right up your alley,
Racist?
dude.
Scorpionist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, thank you, Dynamo. I think there's a compliment in there, and that I'm very trustworthy. is
Well,
what
I
you're
do
saying.
think you're trustworthy. I don't think I wouldn't call you a snake.
Thank you.
You know, unless snakes unless there's a species of snake that intentionally if it sees cars slithers towards them fast, then that would be but you're very honest and very
Thank you.
yeah. I don't think don't say you're a Scorpio, dummy. That's fair. Don't say that's not good.
All right. Well, I think our guest is settled in. So why don't we go ahead and introduce? So it is New Guest November, and it's been a very long time since he's been in studio with us. So it's kind of like new guest all over again. And
practically.
yeah, so we are joined now in studio by our good buddy we haven't seen in a super long time, Arkham Josh.
Right, thank you.
Uh,
I couldn't take the helicopter here though. So it's a one-person vehicle, and I needed to pick up Mars. So
Oh, it's a
true.
gyrocopter. It's one of those deals.
See, I always pictured the one that was in Magnum PI, the brown one with the orange stripe.
someday.
Okay.
We're working. Yeah.
So Josh, you're still alive, which is a good sign.
I was worried.
Yeah, I'm still alive. All my guts are still inside of me.
Good.
I have a nice old-fashioned looking scar. So
It is old fashioned.
Well, it makes you look tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
Chicks dig scars, you know.
Maybe you should get a few.
I got my fair share, trust me.
yeah,
I-
one time a stapler pinched me.
Why don't you show them off?
Yeah.
I got a bruised toe.
My toe got stuck in the tub faucet.
I got a scar across my forehead here. A good-sized scar right here.
Face scars don't count.
Oh yeah.
The face scars don't count.
Did you get stabbed by a light tube from Nick Gage?
Because you know how you get face scars? Someone else hits you.
That's me and Josh had the best dinner conversation because most of the conversation was taken up by first part Nick Gage, second part Richard Stanley.
Yes.
No David Arquette.
Well, just
Oh.
he was just a prop in the same way that that Josh was in his wild Richard
Do you-
Stanley weekend.
How he's alive after that is beyond
So you
me.
saw it?
Oh, yeah.
So for anyone who isn't aware, it was Joey Janela's show.
Lost in LA or
Lost in LA,
whatever.
yeah. So we're talking about wrestling. We're gonna do a quick little sidebar here, wrestling. And so this past weekend, it was Nick fucking Gage who is a
Oh.
convicted felon.
Yeah, MDK.
MDK. He's gang affiliated. He
Yeah.
was spent 5 years in prison for what was it for
robbing a
robbing
bank.
a bank. Yeah.
Which is probably the best conversation I had with one of my bosses / heroes ever. Because, did you hear Nick Gage got thrown in jail? No, how? He robbed a bank. How did they catch him? He didn't wear a mask. Then what happened? He went home. He robbed a bank and went home, and somebody watched the camera and said, "That's Nick Gage." And they went and got him. And now he just tells people he was in jail
Yeah.
and uses initials, but compulsively explains what those initials are right after them. MDK, murder, death, kill.
And he also threatens to, or it doesn't threaten, but he offers to fight the audience members in the parking lot after the
All
match.
the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And so, anyways, he was originally supposed to have a match against Joey Ryan, who everyone knows as the penis
The
man,
dick guy.
dick guy.
'Cause everyone knows that.
You don't?
I know it now.
You've never seen him? Oh, well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fascinated. Yeah.
So, anyways, he got injured, and so he wasn't able to make the booking. So, Joey Janela has a history of always having great replacements. So, if someone isn't able to perform for whatever reason, always get someone who is
Able.
able and or even better than the original booking. So in this case, it was announced that Nick Gage was now going to fight David Arquette,
Right.
The
former
David Arquette.
WCW champion David Arquette.
Right. Which, as I told Josh, what's interesting there, David Arquette, actor, not really a wrestler,
Not really,
but
an actor.
understands that wrestling is fake. Nick
Well,
Gage.
yeah, he was around wrestling,
right.
a lot. So
Yeah, Nick Gage, allegedly a wrestler, positive that wrestling is real.
So in this match, Nick Gage is known for death matches, using light tubes and barbed wire, other things like that. So in this specific match, I haven't seen the whole match. There was lots of clips on YouTube and videos that were being shared on social media. And so Nick Gage took a light tube and busted it over Arquette's head. And did he stab him in the neck too? Is that what happened?
In the head.
In the
Yeah.
head? Okay.
Yeah, like a
He
shard
did have
of it.
What?
he did have a really bad neck.
A gash right in his neck.
So I wasn't sure if he stabbed
I
him
was
there.
under the impression that good old DA got stabbed in the head. Just for some fucking crazy reason, didn't like that. And then moved, to which, the Luthez of modern wrestling, Nick Gage, the light tube dropped down to David Arquette's neck.
Yeah. So, there was a lot, and then there was this one part. I think it was when he broke the light tube over his head, and Arquette basically shot, or it kind of turned into a shoot.
Yeah, he started punching Nick
Yeah.
Gage. for
Yeah.
real.
So where he took him down, and they start punching for real. Nick
Yeah.
Gage is kind of like, "What the fuck, man?"
Which is crazy because if I'm understanding this properly, the last few minutes of this match was that somebody got stabbed.
Yeah.
Somebody, the not wrestler guy, started fighting for real.
Wait, which is the not wrestler
Da-
guy?
David Arquette started throwing legit punches,
Yeah.
and then after this whole match and 300 other matches, Nick Gage just arbitrarily does a wrestling move
Yeah.
and gives him a hip toss or something.
Well,
like
he
that.
has the best chance against the non-wrestler, so.
And then David Arquette leaves.
Yeah.
I'm positive that that's the way this shook out. So
Yeah.
or how I've been told. I obviously
Yeah, he went down. Yeah, he started shooting for real and started punching him. Nick Gage started getting all pissed off and shit. Started. Well, okay. Just really started hammering him down on him, and it was to the point where even Arquette's like, "Look, pin me. I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Nick Gage looks like a lumberjack, a were-rat, and
Where at?
like
definitely.
a hobo.
You know what? Maybe you
Like
think
Head
he's
of Frankenstein.
You think he's Rat Boy?
He could be Rat Boy grown up. He's the right age. He literally the first thing Nick Gage does when he wakes up in the morning is remind himself that he almost died in a helicopter.
Yeah.
It's like I'm brushing my tooth. I almost died in a fucking helicopter. He's just not. There was I figured out what sort of therapy my insurance can afford. I walked out of into the waiting room and there was a guy who looked like fucking Nick Gage asleep in the thing, and then I went into the bathroom and a guy who looked like Nick Gage came out. And then there was a man who looked like Nick Gage yelling at a woman that looked like a zombie in the foyer. So I had to wait in the
Fuck.
cold for my transportation. At which point I realized that this fucking place is rotten with Nick Gages, and that's the best my insurance can do for me.
At least you have insurance, I guess.
Well, not for long. I fucked up, so I only got it for a couple more weeks. But that's okay. What
So
do I
yeah,
need
so if you got
therapy and insulin for?
if you guys want to see, just look up Nick Gage, David Arquette. I'm sure there's tons of videos you can watch.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. And Arquette has been wrestling though, like he
Yeah.
has been doing indie shows.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not that he's still living off the WCW days. He has been doing some indie stuff. So
Did he get big? I mean, did he work out?
he looks in good shape.
looks in good shape. Yeah, yeah.
He's
I mean,
he's not huge, but he's definitely like cut.
Yeah,
for
they're
his
smaller
size.
wrestlers
couldn't tell
wrestling
if he-
in big promotions than David Arquette.
Yeah, I
right
couldn't. I couldn't tell if he was, getting in shape for things like this or not. I couldn't really tell with all the
Yeah,
blood all over him.
But he's gonna be in his like mid-40s, right? Like pretty close.
Well, to be fair, I'm in
Yeah.
my mid-40s. I could fight fucking Nick Gage. Like,
Well,
all I
fair.
had to do is get stabbed. I can get stabbed with the best of them.
I thought you were gonna talk about the guy that hit the other motherfucker with the cinder block
I saw that
down in
too.
Mexico.
That was
No.
insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
That was
yeah.
good. Yeah, it was,
I don't know who it was against, but yeah, some guy he was in the ring. His opponent was outside the ring, and he just took a cinder block and just hurled it right at his head.
It's true.
yeah, hit him on the back.
Now,
Yeah.
for our listeners who may be too classy or to know about this sort of stuff, my apologies to my friend who like it. But it's no surprise. Old black boots, black tights Mars isn't into that sort of thing. Traditionally, Northeast deathmatch wrestlers would look. The good ones would look maybe like Aries, like the ones who look like they could carry themselves. And the bad ones, which are most of them, would look like me, just like fat old guys that can't wrestle for real. Nick Gage legitimately looks like a fucking monster. He's not very big, but he does look like a werewolf. Why are you looking at fucking pictures of a jacked Italian man, like 100 of them? Like, what are you looking at?
Why
No,
not?
I'm just reading a story here.
Every time
Continue your story.
Every time I fucking look at your phone, it's fucking madness.
No, I'm just reading a story. Here's the headline: Shrewsbury Gabagoo gangster, fresh out of jail after 18 years for armed robbery, immediately starts an $80,000 GoFundMe so he can write a book about life in the can. Now
You can write a book about life on the can.
No, this guy can.
Yeah, we found out. So, everyone knows my love and adoration, both as an artist, a human being, and a beautiful woman for Myra K-Rock, right? I got a
Gabagoo
text in the
gangsta.
middle of the day, and I saw it was her, and I was wicked excited, right? I was like, oh, what does Myra tell me? I looked down, and the text says something to the effect of, oh, my God, anal flaps.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of mileage on that one. Apparently, I have gotten messages from people just randomly saying like anal flaps.
Yeah.
So,
Crazily, I'm glad that my favorite part wasn't lost on her, though. Like, MZ sold that like he was talking about pinkies. Like, everyone has an anal flap, right?
You guys are never gonna get away from that.
I know, right?
Well,
This-
MZ
Well, for
can.
you,
It's
it's going on your tombstone.
yeah. MZ can. It's connected.
Well, I didn't think it would. We talk about a lot of shit on this show, right?
Yes.
A lot of different things.
And you have to clean a lot of
covering-
shit off your anal flap.
covering at least a roll and a half. A lot of different topics covering a lot of different areas, and the one thing that this show is probably going to be known for is anal flaps. Who the fuck thought that was going to happen?
Who the fuck thought everyone had one?
by the way, this is Nick Gage. See, he kind of looks like a rat.
Yeah,
He totally looks like a fucking rat.
and a
He's got
fucking
one.
rat
Holy
hole.
shit, is this Aries? Looks like Aries without the big beard, doesn't it?
Or the hair. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
You got more hair than he does.
He's got a little better hairline than that.
Yeah.
I think Aries is under that giant
There's
Oof.
David Arquette.
necro
yeah.
butcher
He's,
beard.
he's fucking pretty cut, man.
Yeah,
Look
when-
at the
he looks
look at the
good.
tats on him.
When did
too,
David
man.
Arquette get out?
Yeah, seriously, right?
David
M-
Arquette, MDK, gang
MDK.
affiliated.
Yeah, what's with the Gigi Allen inspired tattoos on him though?
I don't know.
I mean,
Jesus.
me and Josh were talking about it, and I don't think David Arquette had to work before he made a single movie.
Right.
Like I think that's an old Hollywood family, and I think that they just had
Yeah.
a bunch of money.
Sure.
Right? So like all the shit that David Arquette does is because he's fucking crazy now, and that makes me like him. Like, you know.
Well,
like,
I was saying is like he seems to just be doing things that he's genuinely
right.
interested in. Because I remember years ago when he did that movie, The Tripper, and I think for a good year, he just randomly showed up to almost every horror convention, whether he was a guest or not, and just walked around handing out like promotional stuff for that movie, and just like hung out.
I mean, for a guy who looks like Harvey Whippleman, he's doing pretty well for himself.
I don't think he looks like Harvey Whippleman.
Well, give him a beard and
He has a
give him a
beard.
beard and an Aries hat, and he'll look just like.
No, he's in pretty good shape, sir. I know that it's been so long since you saw a thin body that you don't recognize one, but that guy's not just skinny. He's in
What about
good
this
shape.
guy?
He's not just skinny. He is deceased. he is like if I had to check off like what his physique is, it would be debilitated.
Hey, I've always been a skinny guinea.
Yeah. Well, that's only slightly less offensive, I'm sure, than Goomba Gamba or whatever
I can
this
say
guy
it.
did before. Yeah.
I'm half slick.
Half slick.
Yeah.
You're half jive so, bro.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good start. Auspicious start. We should have stayed at Dunkin' Donuts.
Look at Arquette jumping off
Jesus
the top
Christ,
rope.
he's like fucking super crazy.
He is.
He's like super.
He's 100% super crazy.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean,
All right, I'm a fan.
it's
now.
a shame he never. It's a shame he was never at this level when he was in WCW.
Oh, look at that, getting a light
Oh,
tube.
is that what it was? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was water.
That's
I don't
that's a
know.
light tube.
I saw him on something the other day. Like, you gotta realize he was during the fucking, what's his name, douchebag era of booking
Goldberg.
WCW, like
And also he was
Oh, the Kevin Nash.
he was promoting
the wrestling movie, right?
yeah, for the wrestling
Yeah.
movie, so insurance probably wouldn't let him do a lot.
Yeah, he was fucking probably one of the top 3 workers in the ring most of the time that he was in there. Like, I just can't believe, like, what was that conversation like? Like, he had to know. Like, I feel like I don't know Joey Janela, but I feel like he couldn't have lied. Like, he could have been like, "It'll be fine." Nick
Yeah,
Gage.
he had to know what he
Nick
was getting
Gage is
himself
nice.
into.
So who was the replacement? Was it Nick Gage or was it Arquette?
Arquette.
Arquette.
Okay, so this guy couldn't do it, so we got David Arquette.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
Arquette was probably a better match than Joey Ryan would have been.
Here's a video.
Oh, is this when
This is probably it.
when he got hit?
So it's a very small like hall room, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a
like
little venue.
VFW hall.
No, it's probably bigger. It's hard to tell. I've never been to, but they
Yeah,
run
look
pretty
at-
big
look at-
venues
look at
in-
Arquette.
on the East Coast, so I don't know. But the West Coast is weird.
He's taking a hip toss and
Is
flips.
it-
Nick Gage just did a judo fucking
Is
toss.
that the same place that PWG runs now? or-
Oh, it already happened.
I don't think so.
It already happened. Yeah, because then he like
He just
hurled the
walked out.
chair at
Yeah,
him, like,
yeah.
for real.
I haven't seen it yet. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's a straight, like, I just don't, it can't be, I don't want to ruin anybody, I don't want to piss in anybody's pudding, right? But it can't,
At least while you're on.
This close to Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to.
it can't be, by the way, do you want to know how fucking, like you I am? I felt like I was, like, understanding the way Thanksgiving works. Like, I fucking full out had plans
Oh,
today to go do something.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, I'm going to go see Flock of Assholes. It's going to be awesome. And then Josh texted me to see if I want to ride and hang out. And I was like, oh, yeah, obviously. I know I have the podcast. But, yeah.
he's using a pizza fucking
That's fair.
cutter
Yeah,
on his
good.
forehead.
Yeah, good.
Oh, here's the light tube to the face.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Jesus.
Like,
Yeah, but then
you'd
he puts-
have to, like, there's no way you could convince David Arquette. If David Arquette didn't know who Nick Gage was from being a fan, right? There's no way that you could convince him to do this without, like, Dave wanted to get back on Howard.
Okay.
Like, you know, like there's no way that, like, this happened. Like, Nick Gage is crazy, but not, I mean, he's a worker, right? So there's no way that this happened, like, he fucking, I'm going to kill David Arquette.
right. But I mean, it's a death match, so you sign up to a death match.
There'll
and like
be
you
no
said-
Scream 5.
Well, it's more like an East, like, I think it's like, so Game Changer Wrestling is kind of like, my impression, I've only seen Joey Janela's Spring Break and another one that was, like, real gimmicky, like it was like a blood sport thing where they had no ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
But my impression is that it's not all death matches. Like, they have a death match, like, probably every show, but it's more like an ECW sort of,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
Hardcore.
yeah, thing. So, like, Maybe just the hardcore. Like maybe there was. I just can't even imagine there was any.
Well, they had to. I mean, he had to talked about it beforehand.
Yeah,
Be like, oh, we're gonna do this,
It
and
is
this.
possible that he said, and then I'm going to stab you with a light tube. And he probably thought, like, yeah, I can get stabbed with a light tube.
Yeah,
It's
no
fine.
problem.
Right, yeah.
He
And
just
then-
didn't think it was going to be near his carotid artery.
I mean, when
Yeah,
you
no
get
shit.
when you see your own blood, it's scary. Like even you know, like if I get a fucking dry nose in the middle of the night, it's like I get nervous. I can't imagine like gushing blood like that. I only ever had it once, and that was in the fucking my backyard. And that's because Spencer Vegas fucking kneed me by accident, give me a Hurricane Rana. But like I mean, you see your own blood. Has anybody been like flat out like when I was a little kid, I tried to run under a table. I was this tall, and I tried to run under a table that I was like 4 feet tall, and I tried to run under a 3.5 foot table, and I busted myself open pretty good. But that was the last time that I really like bled a lot. That's why I was little. I don't remember. Has anybody been like Ric Flair busted?
I have this scar over one of my eyebrows.
Yeah.
And it's from the strap lock on a guitar,
Oh.
and it happened on stage.
Oh, Jesus.
That's rock and roll, dude. That's fucking metal.
I was singing and I lunged forward as the guitarist lunged backwards, and we met in the middle.
I've seen a lot of blood that wasn't mine.
You're a fucking weird guy, Johnny. What the
Jesus.
fuck are you doing?
Well, T-Dog did
Oh,
She
yeah,
fucked
yeah.
herself up like a
Yeah,
car
yes,
crash
yes,
in the
yes.
foot.
cut her foot really fucking bad.
yes, yes.
Literally blood all
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
apartment.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was,
Crime
like a
scene.
crime scene, literally.
We
yeah.
were there. We came in. The day,
I
2 days
remember we saw the
afterwards.
stains
Oh,
on
yeah.
the floor.
No.
The police tape.
How do you get out blood from carpets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Aries, when you fought a rock club, did you get busted open?
When you fought a rock club.
That's not very much hyperbole. In
It's
that
like, fuck
sentence.
no.
Yeah.
I did no.
Okay. I seem to remember you getting a head injury, but I could be misremembering. But
See, I got more too, but
yeah, I don't know. I didn't get cut that much. Bones.
I cut the end of a finger off.
I popped a rib
Ooh.
laughing.
Yeah, there's no blood with that.
Holy shit. I
What?
never noticed that.
What?
Whoa. Tony Iommi over here.
What?
Yeah, Jesus.
Wow.
I used to be a meat cutter.
Oh,
And,
man. Oh.
Not
shit,
anymore.
dude, really?
And yeah,
Is that a metaphor?
No, but I lost part of my finger in while doing shave steak one day.
Yeah.
Oh.
man.
Oh, man.
Did you sell the finger?
Or the meat?
I'm not sure. I left.
You need to work. You lost a finger. You need to work on that. Yeah, story a little bit. That story should be. And then Johan the butcher wasn't going to give me my fucking 5K.
Every time I see you, I'm going to be thinking of that finger now.
That's nice.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
as opposed to
talented man.
every time I see you, I was thinking those sweet, sweet lips. Now,
Well, yeah,
well,
but
I can't say
Jeez.
it did make me the most metal person in most rooms because now my horns are even.
Oh, shit. Nice. There you go. Yeah.
That is pretty amazing.
did you guys see that amazing Dio tattoo that was going around?
The arm one?
Oh, yeah.
And what was the response was, I think Slagot did it, where, as cool as that is, I'm paraphrasing, that's the hand that's going to jerk you off the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna look like
That
Ronnie.
Dio's
James
going to be
Dio's
jerking
beat
you off for the rest
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
life.
which I'm okay with. If I
I've
could
seen
make
one
it
of
sing
that, and
Holy
I've seen
Diver,
one of Bruce Lee. There's another one of Bruce Lee that's out there. that's
I'd be
like that.
way okay with that. He was a handsome man.
Yeah.
I bet you Bruce Lee.
Yeah, but with all his muscles, man,
I am going on
yank your
record
dick
right
right
now
off.
Be like water and hard like cock.
that Bruce Lee could probably give the best hand jobs around.
What?
Like without a doubt. Like think about the control that guy had in his knowledge.
The 1 inch.
Oh,
Instead of doing the 1 inch punch, what would that
The
be?
1 inch, the 1 inch jerk.
I bet you would
The
be.
1 inch jerk.
The one is
I
jerk.
bet you'd be like, just like you wouldn't even like you'd see like his wrist twitch and you'd fucking go off like a water whistle.
It'd be like, it'd be
What a
like,
whistle!
it'd be like Shaolin jerk off.
Jesus.
I met your ladies like Bruce Lee.
Confucius say, a man's
Stop it!
a
Stop
man's,
no,
it!
no.
Confucius say,
fuck.
a man's reach should exceed his grasp, but what's a penis for?
Jesus. All right, I got some good news and I got some bad news.
What?
What do you guys want first?
The
bad
bad
news
news.
first. Yeah.
Bad news?
I have the feeling that Josh is our David Arquette.
It's actually more sad news.
Wow.
And so all of you guys have, the podcast is over 6 years old now. six and a half.
Yeah.
And at the end of almost every single episode, you hear Bootsy, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, yeah, I'm getting all verklempt, but Bootsy said goodbye to us
Oh,
a few days ago.
Shit.
I'm sorry, buddy.
So it's been a pretty rough few days. She had kidney disease, and it was like there was some signs of her sort of slowly going, and then the last few days were just like real rough,
That
so
sucks, dude.
she wasn't eating, she wasn't grooming. It just got real bad, so we had to do the right thing, and it was
this?
Sunday.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
That
I
sucks.
just it just was something I kind of wanted to. I haven't really. I think Mars is probably the only one in the room that knew. But I just, it's something I wanted to just kind of get off my chest, and it's been pretty rough, and like the last couple days, like cleaning up, like getting rid of her box and like all these things, and and it so happened to work out that I was off this week, which is good, like so I didn't have to go to work. But yeah, I mean, she was 16, so that's a
That's not
a pretty
bad.
good life.
That's not bad.
And the best thing though was when she was just about to be euthanized, like we had her on the table. This is kind of, it's not really graphic, but it's it could be much for someone. But anyways, she's about to give the shot. She takes the vet takes the cap of the needle off and puts it down like right in front, and then puts it into the catheter and starts to squeeze, and then all of a sudden Bootsy reached for the fucking top of the syringe and started to chew on the cap of it. And in the last few days, she had not done anything.
Yeah.
And it just made me fucking laugh, because she's like cats. They're kind of a pain in the ass sometimes.
She's super playful.
And she was super playful, and like her last thing was to chew the top of the cap of the syringe, and like I was like already kind of bawling, and then I just started laughing, So it was like this laugh cry, and it was. I just thought it was kind of perfect that was like the last thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like up until then, she was like pretty unresponsive for like a day. So that was definitely her like parting gift, I think. So I just thought that was kind of a nice little nice little thing. So yeah, it's been rough, but
Did you have her cremated, or
I did, yeah.
You did? Good,
Yeah.
good.
And I should be getting her ashes soon. So
Good.
It's really expensive.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But I have no place to bury her, and there's no pet cemeteries around. So
Well, it's tough too, because I mean it's a different thing, but a lot of people might not understand my connection with my fish. But I buried my fish.
yeah,
In my financial, like one of the first thing that comes to mind with all my financial problems is, what am I gonna do if I have to move?
right, exactly, yeah.
Like, because I
You have to
this
dig
whole,
it up or something.
Yeah, I
like,
don't know. I have this
yeah.
whole shrine. Like, I don't want somebody else to.
Yeah, and I live in an apartment building,
Right.
so it just doesn't make sense. And the
Right.
ground was cold and everything, so it just didn't make any sense. And honestly, I kind of didn't want to
No, I mean it's
take her home after that.
yeah, no, and it's better too. Like I had we've had most of our friends, our furry friends cremated, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice memory to look at them and like to see the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've had almost all my ferrets have been cremated.
yeah,
All except 2.
yeah. They do, because I guess they offer like a group cremation, but you don't get any ashes because they just take a few pets and do them all at once.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
pay a little more for the private cremation, but
Yeah.
it's worth it.
See, I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if we were going to talk about that, but yeah. So that's the thing. You can you either get like a bunch, and you might get a little bit of your friend, or you can
No.
You
You
don't
don't
get
get
any
any
if you do
ashes
that.
for a group.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
So
just
it's-
basically a
it's-
disposal.
Yeah, it's like there's basically 3 options. You take them home with you. You have a group cremation where you don't get any ashes, or you private cremation and you do get the ashes
There's
in like an urn or a case or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
one of those Raven Shadow is like if your auntie went and they chose to do that, and somebody gets your auntie after that. The other one is like the fucking body parts in Return of the Living Dead.
Right.
Like they just fucking throw a bunch of weasels in.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would. I mean, it's.
I mean, you probably, they're more subtle than like maybe a human, crematorium or remains. But like, there are little ceremonial boxes all over our house of all those guys. Nothing more ridiculous than the giant setup I have outside for Frankenstein, but that I yell at fucking kids away because I think they think that there's fucking treasure there. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like if I was you, I wouldn't be here right now. I've often said that it is well documented, the love for my cat and my love for your cat, let alone your own love for your cat. Like I can't, like that would be the thing. People often ask what would make me miss a show, and that would be.
Yeah,
that'd be the thing, you know.
The Monday was pretty rough. Like I just was pretty numb, like all day. I barely did anything, and then Tuesday I got out, wanted to get out and do some stuff, so went to the gym, and then went and saw Creed 2.
How was it?
It was good. I'm still trying to figure out. I think I like the first Creed a little bit better. Maybe I think the execution was maybe a little bit better, but this one definitely tugs on the nostalgia strings pretty nicely.
Well, the first one was on the other night. I was watching that again.
Yeah.
I love it. I just fucking love Rocky. I love Apollo.
It's interesting the way they do it. I won't talk about the structure, but it's interesting the way that it plays out. That's all I'll say.
Interesting.
So no, I think it's definitely worth seeing. I mean, it tugs on all. If you like Rocky movies at all, like you're gonna love it.
I cry in every Rocky movie.
You'll probably cry in this one.
Yeah, I do. Like a Game 7 cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, it's
yeah, you'll probably cry.
I lost in a Game 7 cry.
All right, so last thing I'll say is, so when you guys hear and I don't even know, maybe some of you guys don't even listen to the whole episode, but at the very end of every single episode, you'll hear Bootsy's meowing, and now it kind of means a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm really honored by it. That is one half of my favorite part of the show.
What half? What's the other half?
I guess it's the whole thing, but I like the. I don't listen. One of the few things I will listen to, but not at the same time. I'll listen to like 6 or 7 in a row. I'll forward to the end of the show to hear what the thing you recorded from the preamble to put in or whatever, and then so I'll always hear
stinger at the end.
I'll hear Bootsy, and then that's that makes me happy.
So rest in peace, Bootsy Couscous.
Yeah.
And now for the good news. Well, once again, there's sad news and like fun news maybe. So, Raven Shadow, if you want to grab this box.
Oh, yeah.
The pizza
it's
box?
Just, no, underneath. Oh. It's just something like I ordered a while ago and it just came in. I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. So feel free. You can open it up, Raven Shadow, and just pull. There's 2 of the same thing. You can pass them both around or whatever.
Please let that be a snake.
Oh! Whoa! A different kind of snake.
I got a snake, man.
Is one for me?
No.
Why?
They're for me.
You get 2 of the same one.
Yeah. One for the studio, one for me at home.
My birthday's coming wicked soon.
No, it's
not that soon.
It's like over a month.
Yeah.
This is fucking wow. Do you want to, wow, man.
Talking to the mic.
What is it?
Oh, man. Straight out of Eternia.
Oh,
you like
no,
dancing,
you did.
like I know Monster Zero does.
Oh, you did
Then
it.
you will,
you said you were going to do it.
Not like anything more than the Four Non Blonde inspired Prince Adam.
All right, let's open it up.
Oh my God! You haven't opened these yet, or
I literally just picked it up today.
Oh, okay.
On my way here. Here, MZ.
Yeah.
You like toys.
Yeah,
I'll let you the honor.
I do love my toys. Okay, and I think I'm going to love your toys.
Both of those better be here when you guys leave. All right, MZ is trying to get it out.
It's in there.
You don't need fucking 2 of them.
What are you doing? Stop that.
Is that? Josh, will you help him, please?
I have a story that's gonna make.
He's practically a professional.
I have a story that's gonna make.
Oh my God!
Wow.
That's gonna make Monster Zero cry a little bit.
This is a great day after all.
So a little kid came in.
Sorry, Mom.
Look at Gringer.
Cringer is his name, sir.
Let me put it up here.
Wow, look at the box. That's my next tattoo right there.
For Monster
there's nothing
Zero's
else in
sake,
there.
we might have to put these away soon, though.
Oh, that is
We don't
funny.
want him passing out.
He's even got a pink sword.
Yeah, he does.
David Arquette versus Nick Gringer.
Oh
Wow,
shit!
I don't know how
That
they
is
didn't know that He-Man was Prince
funny.
Adam.
That is
Wow.
absolutely astounding. I am jealous, dude. I am so goddamn jealous. That is. I can't get over the look on his face. Oh my god, that's pretty good. Good size.
I ordered it a while ago too.
Yeah.
Over a year ago, right?
No. It was in the
No.
summer. It was right around.
Glitter packaging.
It was right around San Diego Comic-Con because they were selling it there.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask Wiley if she could buy me one, but then they actually put them up for sale online, so I just
Yeah.
bought them online.
You know, after looking at, I might just have to buy one myself. Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna have to look.
Evil Corny says, "Hey guys, tell Raven Shadow to try and stay awake when he sees Creed 2."
It's fucking Creed, okay? Corny. All right, it's a fucking Rocky movie. I'll be up all night.
And he also says, "Sorry to hear about Cat Wolfie." Thanks, Evil Corny. You're not so
Wow.
evil after all.
Wow, this is just a fucking special thing.
It really is, huh?
Just singing in the mouth of Castle Grayskull.
Let's see.
Pink sword flapping in the wind. Wow.
Pink sword flapping in the wind.
So today at my day job, which I'm pretty much not allowed to say exactly what it is, but today at my day job, where everybody knows what I do, just not where necessarily, a angry, loud little child
Oh, your coworker.
came in. No, another one came in and bought like a $100 Optimus Prime today.
How old was
Oh,
the
it's
kid?
MZ.
No, like he was like 9. Like he's like, I'm gonna play with it.
Oh, I saw that one. I've seen that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
that was not the $170 one.
Oh,
not
no?
the G1, the one that was still in the styrofoam box and stuff. Styrofoam,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
one that
Oh, I
wasn't
know.
true.
I see. I
Yeah.
saw that one. I saw that one. I know. What
Yeah, I thought of you. It also helped me because, like, I think that my special lady friend was going to make me buy that for you for Christmas, so I was happy to see it go. But like, now you'll get, like, a Merry Christmas. I gave it early this year. But she's like, wouldn't he like that? I was like, I'd probably not.
Yeah. Why would I want something like that?
He doesn't like
right?
those things.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to buy you nice things anyway because I'm sure that, like, one day, like, you got to come home and somebody's going to have thrown, it'd be like my 1989 all over again. Somebody would have thrown all your good stuff away by the side of the road. You can't have toys anymore.
Is that
So,
true?
No, I can have toys.
Yeah, they crammed you into a fucking broom closet. Yeah, that thing's awesome.
Anyone else want to see this before I put it away?
I know,
Yeah, I
know.
do.
Would you stare at it?
Yeah, I want. I got to take pictures with it. That's what
Take pictures with
But
it.
isn't that one for the studio? Can't we have it on display?
Yeah, we could. I was going to put it in the back in the box for now, but yeah, we can keep
We
it
should
on
have it on the
display.
live feed. That's a benefit for those watching at home. Or wherever they're watching.
Oh, is there another?
Oh, what's that?
Oh
It's a foot
shit!
case.
Oh, the
slipcase.
Oh, I didn't know about this. Oh,
Other way. No, they're right. You're right.
Castle
let me
Grayskull.
let me see with the slipcase.
The jawbridge.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Wowzers. Open
Holy
that door.
shit, that is called the Jawbridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I never
Oh,
picked that up.
Oh, I thought that was just a liner inside the box. I didn't know that was part of this.
Well, with you fucking so delicately opening it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sandwiched in there, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out.
You thought it was a sandwich.
Yeah.
That was the
Oh.
problem.
I'm going to get it.
Now, what would happen,
Uh-oh.
Wolfie,
Mm-hmm.
if I accidentally did this?
Wow.
Did what?
That's good radio and
I know.
that's good radio and a dick move.
Wow. It's like, it's like fucking
I'm gonna rub my balls on it. I don't know.
it's like War of
Aries-
the Worlds right
Fucking
there.
jawbridge, man.
Aries, you're awful quiet today.
He's the innovator of silence.
He doesn't
You're
like
more
that.
quiet than average, so I'm nervous about it. Somebody give you a hard
Why?
time because you're so mean to me last
That
week?
thing is amazing.
Spider-Man's amazing. This
you know
is
what?
fabulous.
You can't tell me to do something and then get all pissy when I do it.
Hey, I'm just telling you, if you have to
Wow.
deal with Donna Matrix when you hurt my feelings.
That's a married guy saying
Yeah, I'm not scared of her.
Yeah, I am.
Good for you.
I'm scared of what she'll do to you.
What you gonna do to him?
Probably punch. I don't know. She can't reach very far, so wherever she punches him, it's gonna be soft. So she's not very tall.
She's gonna hit him in the junk?
Could be.
that. In the family Jews.
And the family Jews.
Worst pain there is.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I just, I thought you did a great job last night. My favorite part of when you interrupted me is not only did you,
last night?
well, that too, but I thought you did a great job last week. I bet. My favorite part is when you stop me from saying something halfway through,
And then you get all pissy.
and then not only allowed
They got
Monster
it.
Zero to re-say the whole thing all over again,
They got it.
but then say a whole bunch of stuff that didn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Wow.
That was a good part.
Yeah, here it is. They got it.
You were good last week, Aries. I like
I
that.
thought you
got
good
all
too.
pissy.
I liked it. I was exciting. I liked it.
Well, he likes it when somebody puts me down. He thinks that he's going to get his own show or
He's
something.
just
like
happy
that.
with
I
someone
don't.
else.
That's not true. Ain't no problem saying nothing.
Josh would stick up for me. Fucking last guy made fun of me. Josh chopped his own
I'm
finger
Adam.
off.
You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, that was a fucking asshole cow. That cow was a dick.
Right.
What's steak made from? Cow, right? Yeah.
This is Bringer, my fearless friend.
I know what steak is.
What are you doing? It's like you're having it's like you just fucking have a stroke and now you're just like.
MZ, you know what you should
Talking all Prince Adam and shit.
Why don't you get into doing voiceovers for cartoons?
Yeah, seriously.
You know what?
You could do it.
You know, I've always wanted to do voiceovers.
Why don't you do it? We'll make a demo reel sometime.
Okay.
Come to the studio and
Yeah,
make a demo
you
reel
should.
for you.
And,
All right.
and I know a couple of people who do it to different things, so they would be able to maybe give you some.
Well, I know. Yeah, well, we know Barbary does.
Yeah, and so does 12 Gauge Calhoun.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
No shit.
And 12
Oh,
Gauge
that's
Calhoun
right, yeah.
also does a cool thing where he does like they do like scripted radio plays. He's part of like a playhouse thing. It's cool. Any of those guys get you into it.
Well, when I was a kid, I always, goofed around with voices and stuff like that.
You
I've
do good
I've
impersonations.
always done that.
Do the I could see you doing the trailer guy voice.
Yeah.
Do that.
If they
In
did
a
that.
world.
See?
Yep.
You could do it.
I wasn't even trying.
No, it's good.
you could do it though.
And
now, welcome back to Trick or Treat Radio.
See?
Rocky Overpass as Mixla the Wizard.
I decided I'm not going to go with that name anymore. Rocky Overhang.
Yeah.
I found a new name I'm going to go by.
What is it gonna be?
Dick de la Creme.
Yes.
Hey, what about Dick Della Crumb?
Wow.
How do you spell that?
CREME.
It's like cream with one of those rogue commas.
Yeah, Apollo Creme.
Like creme de menthe.
Stella creme, folks.
Wow. There you go.
How about that?
How about that? Welcome back, Josh.
All right, that's me. Dick de la Creme.
Dick Della Crumb.
Oh,
Jesus.
I have. This is not in any way. This is going to upset some people, and not in any way going to unbalance the incredible sad news or the incredible awesome thing that Wolfie presented. But I will have you guys know I was at the hospital all day on Saturday, and Monday, and I am still cancer free.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Meanwhile, Prince
Glad
Adam
to
is
hear it.
laughing.
yeah. Sorry, Raven. Sorry, Raven Shadow Monster Zero. Someday.
Yeah, and whoever had Dynamo in the Trick or Treat Radio Death Pool,
Yeah,
just
the
took
year's
a-
not over
God
yet.
damn it. Doesn't buy Christmas presents.
So,
Raven Chow, you're still looking pretty good in that death pool.
Oh, yeah. You mean somebody else might be.
Who had Monster Zero? Because think about it. When he hurt his back, they might have never found him in that warehouse.
yeah.
Oh, it's true,
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's the only bad part of my day of finding out that I'm cancer free is awesome. I got to hang out with Derek Rook all day. He
Nice.
took me around and brought me to all my shit I had to do. Is that thanks to this fucking asshole next to me? Every single time I have a CAT scan, I think of him. You know why?
Why?
Because the nurse will say, "Here is the contrast," to which I will say, "The contrast," and they look at me, "You fucking asshole."
That wasn't me. That was Malcolm Zero. I
Yeah.
didn't say that.
Oh man.
Where's he been?
He's out doing his thing.
He's at the Mars and the other stuff that we probably wouldn't fly in.
He's good. He's taking care of business.
great.
Uh-oh. It's coming back.
You've really been incredibly racist this episode. Like, offending me, and I'm not. My sensibilities are sort of jaded.
All right, we should start to wrap this up. I haven't even talked about what fucking film we're reviewing, I don't
Oh.
think.
We're doing a film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch the movie, Josh. It's fine.
All right.
We are going to be talking about May the Devil Take You from our boy Timo Tjahjanto, I think is how I'm going to go with. I think I'm saying it differently from last time, but maybe I'll get it right one of these times. So if I keep trying, I'm bound to get it right.
We're lucky too because we'll
Always
probably have a
pronounce
lot
it
of
differently.
Indonesian.
Eventually, you'll get him to call in and tell you how to pronounce it.
It's funny. He actually tweeted about it just he just tweeted about, because people were asking how to pronounce his name and how to pronounce Eco's name, so he did like phonetically like spell them out, and he did Timo, whatever the fuck, you won't even get it right, or something like that. Like it was really funny. Like he didn't even
At least
try.
he's got a good sense of humor about it.
So Timo Tjahjanto and his man, like 2 films in like a month.
Yeah.
So
That's never happened.
now, granted, I mean, I think he had May the Devil Take You done for a little while, so I think that one was actually done before The Night Comes for Us. But yeah, it just got picked up by Netflix and just got released on, I believe, the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys should definitely check that out. We'll be talking about it in just a little bit. And then, I don't know, we'll just shoot the shit with Josh, since we got Josh here in studio, find out what's been going on with him. And we got a few voicemails. If you guys want to get some voicemails in, there's still time. If you're listening live, feel free to send a voice message or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. If you did see May the Devil Take You, feel free to leave us your thoughts. I'd love to hear what people think about this. And whatever else is on your mind, we always love hearing from you. And I know we heard from, we're going to hear from First Time Mike. And I wonder if he's going to let us know about his trip to see Goblin perform Suspiria live, which I'll be doing this Sunday in Cambridge, in Coolidge Corner, not Cambridge Corner, Coolidge Corner. So, anyone else going? Josh, are you going?
No, I wanted to. It's sold out, isn't it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I grabbed him pretty early on.
Like I wasn't super into it because it's just Claudio Simonetti.
Right.
As long as it's him,
Well,
that's all.
Goblin.
It's pretty much the his band Demonia.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
now he calls it Claudio Simonetti's Goblin.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
As long as Claudio, that's the one I care about the most.
Yeah. Well, and the other reason I didn't jump on it is because it looks like this is the first time he's actually like finishing the tour.
Yeah, not missing shows.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Because I had tickets to see him like 8 years ago in New York.
Yep.
Canceled the whole tour.
Ugh.
I had tickets a couple of years ago when they were supposed to play at the Palladium.
Right.
Canceled the tour.
Well, so it's your fault then, because you didn't get tickets this time. It's a fucking
I
go.
know, and now it's happening.
That I have to say, when we did go see them, you and I, Wolfie, that's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a blast.
It
was,
might be the last time.
Were you there, MZ?
No.
When?
I
For
was
which?
there.
To go see Goblin?
Yeah, like 4 years ago.
You with
Yeah,
us?
you
I
went
don't
with us,
remember.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
in Boston.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we
great.
we ended up seeing. Yeah, because
At the Sinclair.
the
Right.
Sinclair, because
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Baronis was there, and I think
Yep.
you ended up meeting.
Yeah, he
Claudio,
introduced
right?
both of us. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I knew
Yeah,
someone had.
He was outside. He's like, "Oh, Claudio, here's my very good friend Mike Mars." And I said,
I think I saw that happen, too.
Good talk.
Wow.
well, it wasn't even like, "Do you want to come meet?" Like, because that's awkward too when somebody says, "Do you want to come meet somebody?" Then you have to do like the kind of almost like walk of shame and think of all the ways you're not worthy to meet this fucking person.
Mm.
I was literally walking up a step. It was. I feel like it was. I remember being cold, and like literally getting dragged into like a little like side area
Mm-hmm.
where they were talking. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a fucking emergency door opened and Mike Baronis pulled me in. So, Mike Baronis, by the way, A+ fucking dude. Like, there's,
Oh, he's
Oh,
the
no
best.
doubt
Yeah.
about it.
it's
No
not
doubt
ve-
about
not,
it.
Not very many people who I don't have much time for anybody that says anything bad about Mike Baronis.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's start to wind things down here. If you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Head on over to trickortreatradio.com. On the front page there, you're going to see a few different ways you can help. Scroll down, you're going to see an Amazon logo. Click on that, bring you right to Amazon.com. Inputs are affiliate link, and anything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. Doesn't cost you any extra, Michael Ravenchannel.
But it helps keep the lights on.
So I know a lot of you, like Black Friday's coming up, and if you're listening to this live in 2 days, Cyber Monday, all these fucking deals going on.
Ah, yeah.
And, you're going to be doing some holiday shopping anyways on Amazon. Just go ahead and click our link. And we get a tiny cut, and it helps pay for the show. It helps pay for the hosting, for the web hosting, the podcast hosting,
For the pizza.
for all the fees, everything else, all the services that we utilize. So yes, it'd be most appreciated if you guys would use our link. And also on trickortreatradio.com, click on the store button, And there you're going to find the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3. There's some other Deadites premium content on there. There's some limited quantities of T-shirts. We got buttons. We got download cards. So check it out. Give it a look. And if you guys just want to give us money, you can go ahead and donate using our PayPal donate link right on the front page, trickortreatradio.com. We'll accept any denomination, and once again, it'll go help to pay for everything. And one of the things we do want to do in the very near future, or we're going to need to do, is get a new computer. So, we'll figure out a better way of just saying, give us money. But
let's give us money, Ribby.
All right. So, Raven Chatham.
Yes.
You sit down to watch May the Devil Take You.
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare for this movie?
Oh my God, Johnny! Once again, it's my favorite time of year. Approaching my favorite holiday. And
December Cram Jam?
Oh, fuck no, Johnny, no, not that. Before that, it's fall in New England still, but it's
barely.
But it's been fucking like Destro Weather Dominator and raining cold upon the New England area. Like
it's been cold one day.
Lots of fucking days, and it rains. And no, maybe you like your balls fucking tealer than fucking Jim Smith, but I fucking don't. All right. Weirdo.
It was
I
really
make
cold
my money
today.
plowing snow, so bring it on.
Oh. You have my address, right?
Buying a dress.
You have my address.
Oh.
I thought you said you have his dress.
Yeah, well, I thought so
yeah,
too.
I have your address in the back. I heart snowplowers.
Like, we're not supposed to talk about that on the
Oh,
air.
I'm sorry. Then the mics were live. But now, I'm just fucking confused, Johnny, and maybe Josh, you can help me out. Is it the reason why people didn't know that Prince Adam was He-Man? Was it magic, and they saw somebody else in the face?
I think it was the flamboyant colors, just and blinded them and threw them off.
Maybe like they couldn't.
It works the same as glasses.
The lavender and pink.
I see. I think it was it was a secret message in the cartoon that was trying to tell you, well, that tough guy couldn't possibly wear those girly clothes.
But I mean, he's fucking cut though. I mean, like not for nothing. Like you can't call this guy a wuss. Like I don't know. I'm just fascinated. Like, so if He-Man wore like underwater gear, would they forget that he's He-Man? Does he have to show the pecs? Is it the pecs?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
he's
like
Hulk
Clark Kent.
Hogan. The pecs got.
I think it's like an enchantment.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I even if he had like a ponytail, if he had a ponytail on his little Dutch boy thing, maybe that would work.
Well, why don't they know Clark Kent is Superman?
Because I'll tell you why. Depending on the.
So whatever you're going to tell me right now
Glasses
is going to
and a
be
suit.
more probable than Eternia Sorceress Magic.
Well, fair. But here, I'm going to tell you two things.
Okay.
One, in the Silver Age pre-crisis version, he wore his glasses, his lenses were like Kryptonian fucking glass. So whenever he looked at you directly, you saw a guy that was weaker, a little bit balding, and frailer. And that's why, like, when Superman would be like by the water cooler, and they'd be like, "Yo, fucking Jimmy, Clark's fucking jacked, dude." And then he'd turn over and he would stumble, and he'd be like, "Oh no, it's just fucking, a wimpy guy,
So would the lenses of his glasses be made from the spaceship or whatever that is that he
Yeah,
traveled into?
They had a hypnotic effect.
Yeah, that's one of the
Okay.
Silver Age things that they fucking got rid of because, like, that was a fucking small baby-sized spaceship, and they supposedly cannibalized enough stuff to make like
Right.
a whole fucking house
But-
and his suit and.
But in the Byrne original Man of Steel, the people of Earth don't believe Superman has a secret identity because he doesn't wear a mask. So the perception is, why would he not be Superman all the time? And Clark Kent and Superman have been photographed and been seen together with the help of shape-shifting and magical friends.
Well, Corny actually says it's like the difference between Al Cool and Raven Shadow.
Well, Superman's what I said, but Corny's down on the money for that. And with all this peeling back the curtain and who's who, what's what, I had to fucking strap on.
And anytime anybody.
So,
iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
This is Matt Kennedy of Astron 6. You might know me as Manborg. You might know me as Father John Sullivan in Father's Day. But what's important right now is that you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
I will be Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
I can tell you I'm never coming back on this show. Especially now that I did that thing that you just didn't do. Which I will be sending you an invoice for.
I've got a bunch of shirts that I kept.
Oh, no, you're talking to the mic. We are back.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat Radio.
I'm Prince Adam.
Stop it.
I'm Adam.
We
Prince
didn't mean
of
talk
Eternity.
about cartoons right now.
Oh, Jesus. Don't even get me started.
I wasn't a big He-Man guy. Like, I liked how they looked, the toys, but like I was all about G.I. Joe. Like, everything else was extra. It's like a side of Mask. We were into Mask.
What about the Rambo show with the Taliban?
You know what? I'm on a Facebook page called.
Of course, you're always on a Facebook page.
No, it's called. What is it called? It's dedicated to like the 80s. It's dedicated to the 80s, and every Saturday morning, around 8 o'clock, they start playing Saturday morning cartoons, and they've been playing a shitload of Rambo. It's funny as hell.
And also, I know you guys mentioned the Rambo one and the Chuck Norris one last week, but there was another cartoon that was aimed at kids, which was very inappropriate, and that was the RoboCop cartoon.
Right.
Oh,
yes, yes.
What were
Man.
some other inappropriate cartoons? I forget. Was the Toxic Avenger like?
The Toxic
Yeah.
Avenger
There's
was
the
one.
Toxic-
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Avenger.
Was it appropriate or is it?
Yeah,
not?
it was
Yeah,
mostly
you know-
like TMNT. It was like,
Yeah.
And of course, some of the Bugs Bunny cartoons weren't exactly appropriate either.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but
I
those
mean,
were- those
I
were
mean,
from a
inappropri-
different time.
Yeah, I mean inappropriate like content, like
Yeah.
that were repurposed for.
Their source material was
Yeah.
inappropriate.
Those weren't made for.
Well,
those Bugs Bunny cartoons weren't necessarily made for children.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, cartoons were primarily made for adults back in the
but
day.
Rambo was definitely not made for.
Well,
children.
there was well, I mean, this is a little tough. The Little Rascals.
What was the matter with that?
What about it?
It was a bit racist back in the day.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, but
that
but
was
back in the day, that wasn't racist. Unfortunately,
No, but we're talking about cartoons from the
Well,
source.
it was,
material.
but it was acceptable racism.
right. Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a little.
Those were the social norms.
There was a Little
For those
Rascals
days, that
cartoon. There was a Little Rascals cartoon.
Let me see.
Yeah, but no, what I think what he means is like things that
It was
were
a
made
Godzilla
for
cartoon?
children, but not the source material. Like children should not have been watching Rambo,
Yeah,
and
or RoboCop.
RoboCop, right,
or
right.
Toxic
Right.
Avenger.
Was there a Predator cartoon?
No.
No, that should.
I don't think that.
I am, yeah, I fed up with the Cosby Kids.
To this day. Zippity doo, Chris Hansen.
What you doing here? You bring a hoagie?
Yeah, different kind of predator.
Hey, what are you doing here, Chris Hansen?
Chris,
I'm
are you
banging
here
this
for
broad.
pudding pops?
Oh, there was RoboCop. That was a cartoon.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
I
now.
was-
Just
Jeez.
like literally
Where you
38
been?
seconds
Yeah, where you
ago.
been?
I was too busy smoking.
No, you were sitting right there.
Oh,
and we
really?
talked about RoboCop.
No.
By the way, guys, and this maybe is more for you guys than people on the podcast because it's a Black Friday sale, so it depends on when people hear this. But I just got an email from Mixtape Massacre. They're having a Black Friday sale.
Great.
Nice.
Get the Black Friday bundle. It's Mixtape Massacre, the Black Mask expansion, and
Nice.
both booster packs for $79.99.
That's great.
You can get the base game for $45. You can get the expansion for $20, and all T-shirts $12.99.
I'll think about getting that when I'm fucking already at work at 12:30 in the morning. Like
Mars,
a fucking
didn't you
asshole.
want the T-shirt? It's $12.99.
Well, good. Yeah.
But
All-
if you prefer brick and mortar stores, That's Entertainment in beautiful Worcester carries a Mixtape Massacre.
Do
and the,
they have a Black Friday sale?
Yeah, cause fuck it. Well, they do. Yeah, 20% off for most everything.
Most everything.
Yeah, that's-
Everything except for Mixtape Massacre.
Yeah, exactly.
Full price, motherfucker. No, yeah, it's also RSD for those.
RSD. Is that
Everyone
like
knows.
DSL?
Record Store Day.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Fucking professional.
Oh, Josh knows.
You know what's nice? I was really polite because I knew there was another like store like that here. I didn't mention where I work, but Raven Shadow was like, "Fuck all y'all."
What?
I'm gonna give myself a plug, even though Mars was vague about where he works. Like,
Well, chances are, I don't think people in fucking Indonesia are gonna go to That's Entertainment Raven Channel. No offense, but
What did I say, John? I said if you prefer brick and mortar stores,
which
if
is
you
the right
prefer-
word.
Oh,
That-
before.
What's fucking amazing is that you said it wrong twice.
I know. Well, I'm gonna go back to drinking again. This fucking water is bad for you. It's fucking me up.
I bet they use it to rinse some fucking romaine lettuce first.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca reminds Stamos.
You know what cartoon I'm I am
fucking talk
upset they never picked up me and Bruce Stewart's pitch for Freddie and the Dream Team,
Well,
even though we tried.
Right.
yeah, there you go.
We had Freddie and the Dream Team, and then we had the alternate one that was like the old, really bad cartoons, like the Three Stooges cartoon, where they had a different job every week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Freddie would be a barber, or Freddie would be like, but this one, Freddie drove around in a van.
And at the end it says, "It's not a dream, it's a nightmare."
No, he says, "This isn't a dream, it's a nightmare."
Oh, sorry.
But he had a dog and a Freddie hat and a sweater.
Courtney says, "Attack of the Killer Tomatoes." Was that a
Yeah,
cartoon?
that was a cartoon.
That was,
That was a
and so was
cartoon, yeah.
so was Tales from the Crypt.
Yep.
And he also said Thundercats was way better than He-Man.
Agreed.
No.
I mean, yeah, better animation.
Nah. I think you
Hello, way better,
That was a big,
Transformers floors them all. So there's
Transformers. I watched a bunch of Transformers, and that was a fucking boring cartoon.
no way.
No, there was fucking
No
Spike.
Fucking
Spike
way.
found a fucking way to
I
fall
will-
in the fucking ravine.
I will fight you to the death with that argument.
Yes, yes.
That's not all I have to
I
do
wanna
is
see
tell
it.
you one of your jokes, and you'll die.
Balls of my father.
Just show him that Prince Adam figure. For a
Yeah,
minute.
it'll be over.
Didn't Bruce Lee have a cartoon? I could.
No, but he
Jackie
gave a
Chan
good.
had a cartoon.
He gave a good
Jackie
hand.
Chan had a cartoon. That's who it was.
Jackie Chan had animated adventures. Bruce Lee gave good handies.
Yes, it's true. Everyone knows
Apparently.
that.
NKH.
The Fist of the Dragon.
Right. So yeah, I can't think. I feel like there's probably a million because they really. tried to-
Once again, if we have a big Indonesian population tuning in, they're going to be like, "What the fuck?" Like they're going to go seek out these American cartoons now.
Yeah.
Yeah, brand new ones.
Well, what about I don't know. What about Dungeons and Dragons? That was
that was
consi-
awesome.
was
Yeah,
awesome,
but
yeah.
that was also considered, like
Satanic.
Satan,
Yeah.
No,
satanic worship.
to fucking asshole dummies. It was.
Right.
But it was al-
Sure, I agree
But
with
it was
that.
also a product that, to a certain degree, was aimed at kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And they weren't role playing. They were kids that went to the carnival, ended up on the magic carnival ride, and then went to a land of fantasy and wonder.
Like most cartoons started, that was about abduction.
Yes. Beetlejuice had a cartoon. But
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Corny says Mumra was a way better villain than Skeletor.
Who?
Mumra.
No, I agree. That's undebatable.
What are you talking about, ding dong?
Hey, man!
Why, you furry-faced fool?
Evil corny, you Alabama ruffian.
You know what's was the best cartoon, even though it wasn't offensive? Does anybody else remember that cartoon Meatballs and Spaghetti?
Yes.
Yeah, that was dope right there.
No,
Had the best theme song.
I remember the name. I
Hey,
don't remember what
you
it is.
ready for meatball spaghetti? That shit's good. And then it was teamed up with Pandemonium.
Yes.
I used to draw a Pandemonium comic book when I was a kid. Couldn't
Was that about pandas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell a fucking single thing that was going on that I drew, but
All right, well, let's jump into this flick. I want to talk about May the Devil Take You. And it is from 2018. It is 1 hour, 50 minutes. That's 5-0. It's a horror film and is written and directed by Timo Tjahjanto. And it stars Chelsea Islan, Pavita Pierce, Ray Shahetipi, Karina Sawandi, and Samo Raphael.
Aries.
What?
Runtime check.
It was over 90 minutes.
Yeah, is that okay?
1 hour, 50
Yeah.
minutes.
Is it okay?
Is that too long, too short?
Okay. If you're gonna pick on me for everything I say, don't question when I don't say anything.
I feel like that's what you do to me.
But to be fair, he didn't criticize something for being too long. He questioned something for being possibly too short.
Yeah.
And I just said it made me hesitant about the time.
This
I didn't
is-
say I was instantly hating it.
Right. So when he said
No,
that
you
this
said-
was
in
an
fact,
hour
you
and
said you
50
liked
minutes,
movies.
he went, "Hey, it's more than 90. It might be good."
He was like Jim Dandy.
But it had subtitles.
Yeah, it was like
So, yeah, it sort of had the
Aries,
good and the bad.
This movie was a scorpion then.
So this film is Indonesian, obviously from Timo. And the synopsis, when her estranged father falls into a mysterious coma, a young woman seeks answers at his old villa, where she and her stepsister uncover dark truths. All right, so this just popped up onto Netflix, so if you guys have yet to see it, recommend checking it out, and you can stream it there. And it's pretty awesome to have another flick from Timo. Like, this guy definitely is...
Primo.
Timo is primo.
Timo Ganj.
Has there ever been a time?
Juan Timo.
I know Astron 6 had 2 in our top 13s, but we watched 2 different movies from 2 different years.
True.
Has there ever been a time when one director had 2 movies that could possibly be eligible to be for our top 13?
That's a good question, and I don't think so. I don't believe so. So, unless we did two Miike films or something like that,
It's possible.
because he, it's Miike. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Like this, and I would say Timo is probably quickly becoming one of our most discussed director.
We did the one about the high school in the Gods, and we did Yakuza Apocalypse. We did As the
Yep.
Gods Will and
As the Gods Will.
Yakuza Apocalypse. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we did them within a couple months. That's right.
Yeah.
And there may be some others, but it's definitely that's definitely sort of a rarity.
Right. Good call.
So, yeah, so this one, I don't know which one was finished first. I have a feeling, based on just some things that I saw, that this film may have been in the can before The Night Comes for Us. But, and I think Timo is looking for distribution, and maybe because The Night Comes for Us did so well, Netflix was, willing to take a chance on this one. I'm not sure, but regardless, it's great that we get a chance to see it, because otherwise, who knows? If it didn't get distribution, or if it just get distribution in Indonesia, I don't know. So, but yeah, so at this point now, I think this is the 5th film we've checked out from Timo, because we did Killers, we did VHS 2, we did Headshot, we did The Night Comes for Us, and May the Devil Take You. So, yeah, so that's 5. That means that's his last. Oh, and actually, ABC's Death, if you want to include that, which he did one segment. So technically 6. So we've done all of his films except for Macabre. And he did a segment of Takut, Faces of Fear.
Which I was of the impression Macabre that Shudder was putting out, but it never showed up.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought I saw something like that. But regardless, Timo is definitely has been a force and has done some really impressive stuff in the last several years. And, I guess we'll find out if that impressive streak continues as we start to unravel our thoughts about May the Devil Take You. Now, to contrast this to The Night Comes for Us, that was fucking breakneck, nonstop action 85% of the way through the movie. Like, literally, I would say 85% of the movie was action and fight scenes. And in this, obviously, we have a much different pace. It's a horror movie. It's a straight-up horror movie. But I would say that you could probably take that percentage, 85% or so, and apply it to the implied horror, like the horror that was going on. There were some pretty tense scenes in this, and there's a lot, I thought there's some pretty good scares as well. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite 85%, but there's a lot of just, kind of balls to the wall horror in this, I would say.
I thought we were going to get out of watching an Indonesian film without any bone breaking, but sadly mistaken.
Yeah. Well,
plenty of bones being broken in this.
Plenty of brones being
Brones.
Bros being broken.
Jabrones.
The king of brones over here.
But when there was either action or scares, I mean, it definitely saw some things in this film.
Oh yeah.
One scene in particular.
Yeah.
What scene?
That could be any scene.
Yeah.
Well, there's one. Well, that's part of the journey. When we get there.
I have not been as excited.
He only saw one scene.
Listen, my back, buddy.
He knows you too well, man.
Listen, and you don't know me at all. Okay.
You think you know me? You ain't my homie.
And you think you know me? Wow. I have not been as excited to talk about a movie since What Keeps You Alive. Like, I was literally fucking
Yeah, I heard you say that.
jittery to talk about this.
So let's kick it off there then, Mars. Why were you so anxious to talk about this?
Because this is the best fucking tribute movie to another movie I love that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Because it managed to do something that, we lived through a generation of what I call DJ filmmakers like Tarantino and Rob Zombie, who would literally fucking take shit that they liked from other movies and repurpose them for their movie. This took almost script elements from another movie, did them in a different, more subtle way, like almost placed them in like a real world situation, but did all those things. I guess I can't talk about it and not say, but this was very much...
I don't think it's a spoiler. So
this is very much an Indonesian Evil Dead. This very much focuses on an unseen force moving around a house, but in a totally different way.
Well, I think Johnny mentioned that last week, and it was pitched like that.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like a few scenes where they do the same scene but do it differently. Yeah. In like the Deadites, if you will, don't float and stuff. They'll fucking run at you, and like it was definitely reminding me more of Wreck, or my other favorite kind of movie that I feel like fits into like a loose, even though I think it came out before, Demons, or even Night of the Demons, like these kind of demonic possession films where where as opposed to being like more possessed like in the Exorcist knockoffs, the possessed people were more like zombies, and in this, they were kind of had that sort of thing. They were more scary than that, but this was as scary as Evil Dead, the first one, I thought, in a lot of ways, and they did a lot of the same stuff, and they had like a lot. It's almost like and I don't want him to take this or anyone to take this an insult, but it's almost like he took the script and said, well, that really worked. How can I fucking do this thing and make it scary?
Now, see, as far as my take goes on it, I didn't find this movie to be one bit scary.
Oh, tough guy. So the fucking Percocets you're on.
I didn't find it scary one bit. Because it rehashes this
horror. Sorry to interrupt. Scares are subjective.
Oh, sure.
So
sure. But I wasn't scared, not for a moment in this film. they did take some liberties into some new ways to do things, like you said, from Evil Dead. Like instead of like the unseen force being a point of view, they used it in a way that it's
It
it's
almost looked like
invisible.
hot air.
But
like,
it's like and it's a really interesting effect, and it's an effect that works, and it works within the
it
film.
was very J horror-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but see, that's also part of the problem is that I mean, I've seen so many Asian horror films that the girl with the long dark hair just isn't scary anymore. This movie covers so many.
Newsflash: all Indonesians and Asian people have dark hair.
Newsflash: no, they don't.
Well, here's the thing: we actually talked about this at dinner. The predominant, so Indonesia is a giant melting pot, right?
Mhm.
Like there's like Indonesia and the Philippines, like are a lot of different nationalities went up, but the predominant race in Indonesia.
Predominant.
Yeah.
Predominant.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing it is hard. Also, it might be catchy. You're like the Romano vocabulary. But and I'm gonna say this wrong, but like if the spelling, and I've always said it wrong, so feel free to make fun of me, Raven Shadow me, or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's Javanese, where they're like a Japanese descent. So it's not how if you possess someone, even if you're doing a different thing, Monster Zero, of a culture that is predominantly Japanese, they're gonna look like Japanese people, right? Like it's gonna look like that. Like you can't. Like it's not like all of a sudden they're gonna fucking get possessed and look like Lonnie Anderson.
Or fucking Prince
Adam.
I know, but that doesn't change the fact that we've seen all this before. And it doesn't change the fact that the formula that's being taken into this film is anything new. A couple of different liberties here and there, yes, and and
I thought there was a lot new here.
And they did what they do. They did what they did to give themselves a different spin on an old formula. It might have worked for you. It might have worked for you guys. I don't know yet. Personally, for me, it did not work. I just found it to be really old hat, and the liberties that they did take wasn't enough for me to think any differently.
Well, I mean,
all the boring derivative shit you watch, this is where you draw the line.
It's weird that it's weird because I mean this is the kind of shit that I like, out of the stuff that the movies that Timo has done, and I love the last few things that we've reviewed from him, but this is the kind of film that's kind of closest to me because it is about possession and it's straight up horror and things like that. But yet I feel that it's his weakest film because I don't feel like he
You think it's
stepped out.
too derivative?
I don't feel like he stepped out of the box like he does with his other films. I feel that this is very paint by numbers.
I'll agree to a point, but I think he did definitely put his style on it, and I thought there was a lot that really set this apart from other stuff.
And not in any of those movies that you can think of was there as rich of a subtext. I apologize, Wolfie.
Where's your monocle? Let me see it.
As the family dynamic in this film. Like I feel like that was all lost on you because that was his tense.
You sound like me last week
As
talking about Possum.
as anything else. Like there's not fucking a great commentary on like broken families or abandonment issues in fucking Night of the Demons. God bless it, but it's not there. Certainly not. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm in the fucking Deadites. I'm not dissing Evil Dead, but there's no subtext in there. Like he took those tropes and also did another thing that none of those fucking movies do. There were some things. I mean, there's the fucking under the bed scare that happens in almost every movie that ghost or possession movie that we've watched for the last 20 years. But they also did like you're trying to fucking tell me. Are you still watching this shit on your iPad? I think you're just looking at your phone too much.
What?
Like, there was so much shit in this movie that I have never seen before. Like the setup was the same. They paid homage to Evil Dead right down to the point. Instead of a fucking scene with a fucking cackling deer head, you actually had a fucking tiger statue, like alive in the background as somebody like walked by.
Oh, nothing like that. But they also had an actual deer head on the wall.
Yep.
And then you had the
hunting
goat
season.
You had the goat. Like I don't know. There was like lots of shit in this that I don't. Last time I saw that gag done so good, or saw it at all, was another movie that Timo did, and that was in VHS when he was, there was like, you'd have to go frame by frame in VHS to see.
I have to see that
all
one
the
again.
scary stuff that's in there as people run by doors. There's like literally, it's almost like Insidious, totally different thing. But like, if you're not fucking looking, you're gonna miss something. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, this is where you draw the line of, I guess if it didn't resonate, it didn't resonate. But this is where you draw the line of what's derivative. Like there's lots of new here. There's that fucking brilliant fucking scene. I don't want to spoil it because it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes of the year, where something gets pulled out from under a bed from two ends.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you seen that shit before? Like, you have to sometimes, if you see something and you're like, I know what this is, you're missing what the beauty of this movie is, because they turn that trope on its head every single time. Yes, we've seen a million under the bed things. What they do with it is a different thing. Yes, we've seen a lot of this Evil Dead stuff. What they do with it is a different thing. I've never seen any of that fucking voodoo adjacent stuff ever.
Yeah, that was real cool.
The voodoo angle is interesting. I liked that part of it, and I thought, okay, this movie's going to start picking up because it started going into this.
The opening scene was fucking brilliant.
Well, that was the thing I liked, and I definitely want to hear Josh's take. But I mean, I think when it opens up, there's a.
That's the. I don't have much to say, so I'm queuing up Josh.
Well, can I say something stupid?
Take up for
like,
me.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the checks and balances. You had a little argument going on back and forth. I'm gonna say something nonsense. Josh will come in. Ayers will be quiet, and you'll get all fucking smart. That's the show formula.
No, actually, the show formula is. He'll say words for a long time that he doesn't really understand.
Okay.
I won't be able to say what I want to say. Johnny will say something smart. Aries will yell at me, and then you'll you'll jump in like the mouth of South Jimmy Hot, and like raise and like collect your podcast of the year award.
Fair.
I would like to hear what Josh has to say, because I think he's gonna mind some of the stuff that me and Wolfie are probably gonna.
But it's all right, because Raven Shadow wasn't done. I want to hear what Raven
Thank
Shadow
you,
has
Josh.
to say.
Thank you. You're a fucking professional.
He's the only one
because-
ever to say that.
Only because he started saying that and then got cut off. He hasn't actually said anything about the movie yet.
That's
how he does it.
That's
That's how
also
he
my
does how he
formula,
reviews a
Josh,
film.
is that I come in, and then I get in trouble. I tag you in, and then I get on the current corner, and I
The
get
hut tag.
The hut tag.
You take all the bumps.
Let's go, yeah.
And then you get the hut tag.
And like Bambaleo.
So what are your thoughts on the movie Raven Shadow?
Which movie? No. No. I like the opening, the reason for the possession. I like that. I mean, once again, I haven't seen every fucking J horror or film of this subject, but I liked how that happened. And then I do agree when it cuts to you see kind of what happens as a result of the possession in the credits, and when the family's brought in. I like that. And even as it started getting, something spooky's going to happen, what I liked for me was, if this was an American PG-13 horror flick, all the beats. Maybe for me, because it was Indonesian and I've seen this director's work, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I know something bad. Like when she's pulled down the stairs, once again, this is not early into the film. I don't know what they're going to fucking come back with. Is it body parts? Is it demons? I don't fucking know. But I think you really, I like the characters. They had reasons for being there. They had reasons for their tension. And just the kind of supernatural chicanery just enhanced it.
Wow, you didn't use machinations.
The show's not over yet, Johnny.
No. Did you look that up in a thesaurus?
No, I'm quoting Mallrats.
Give the hot tag. Hot tag.
Yeah, Josh.
All right. Okay.
I'm in trouble here.
So I'm actually gonna fall somewhere in the middle, and I think I'm gonna back up MZ here a little bit. I do think that there was a lot of kind of reused tropes, but as Mars said, they kind of put a little spin on it.
Yep.
But my problem with it was I think they tried to drag everything out a little too long for tension, and it lost a lot of tension for me because I also didn't. I was wildly entertained by the film and really enjoyed it. Did not find it scary at all. And I think that is just because everything seemed dragged out just a couple extra beats. But other than that, I thought that the story was really interesting. It was compelling, with the subtext of the family dynamic. I thought the camera work was really good.
Yep.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of wonderful use of angles and camera movement. Another thing I really liked was the score.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Because the score ranged from music that seemed like it would be traditional Indonesian music to even pieces like when main daughter Alfie is on her way to the house for the first time. It actually sounds like something out of a mid to late 80s Euro horror film.
Yes.
But then there's music later on, once everything's going on, that's more early 80s American Carpenter inspired.
I agree. And I'm sorry if I beat you to this, but then when they were in the woods,
Yep.
it did get awful Evil Dead-y. It
Right.
was very kind of strings the wrong way. And,
Right. So I thought it was interesting because not only were they taking these different influences like Evil Dead and other assorted things to a smaller degree, but then they were also taking different cues musically.
Which I feel supports that the implied. I feel like one of the it wasn't unintentionally derivative. It was.
Oh no!
Yeah.
They definitely were okay, we're gonna take these things, we're gonna put a twist on it. It was just for me, I felt like it was just they were taking too much time to try to establish tension. I feel that if they just went through and cut out 5 to 10 seconds here and there in a lot of those scenes, tightened it up. I mean, I'm talking even if they tightened this movie down to an hour and 45 minutes from an hour and 50 minutes, for me, I think it would have worked better.
Yep, I would agree.
I do feel like you might have lost some of the nuances that I found most interesting. Another thing that I think might have been lost on MZ, and it might not even been intentional. So this might not even be fair to say. It might be a regional thing, but there was a lot of interesting contradiction and convoluence of religions and spirituality in here, in the sense where the mom, the movie star mom, seemed to have a very Catholic or Christian
a
thing.
Western
Yeah, and the spiritualism on play seemed to be almost my only. It reminded me of the I can't say Genshi, the Hopping Vampire movies.
Yeah.
With the Shaolin monks and all the kind of Taoist prayers on the door.
Yes.
Which I also like that they didn't go out of the way to dumb that down for an international audience. Those were just there. If you understood what they would, you'd understand that it was you were getting that quintessential horror scene where the dumb teenager was breaking the seal that they oughtn't of.
It was almost they were almost just the signage equivalent of Crazy Ralph.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just or definitely there was the spirit it's a death curse.
Yeah.
But but I think that was really interesting because I don't know, again, there are a lot of that part of the world's a big melting pot, so I don't know if there's some sort of voodoo equivalent or some sort of thing, but that was definitely a sort of thing. So that was another another spiritual thing thrown into the mix.
I can't speak from personal experience, but I do know from watching a lot of films from different regions of Asia. I know you find some of the similar things with the Thai films.
Yep.
you'll get things that have like a weird mix of spirituality.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And as well as the few real like actual like Filipino films, not the American, not the Jack Hill movies.
But I've even noticed some like not so much in like the Hong Kong or Chinese output, but in some of the Korean and Japanese input will also have not necessarily like the voodoo aspect, but the clash of points of view of both Eastern and Western philosophies.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we also sort of saw that in The Wailing, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, for sure. The Wailing, it was like a.
So, and that was one of the things I was curious about was is it sort of a cultural thing? I imagine it was. If this is an Indonesian based film, that I figured that it was part of the culture there.
What an ugly contextual movie The Wailing is. Like I don't like to think about it very much. Like you don't get the thing that you want to have happen.
Yeah.
In The Wailing, really.
But yeah, so I think I fall somewhere in the middle, and I think I can agree with points from both MZ and Mars. But now I want to know what Aries thinks.
Ooh. Triple threat match.
Hot tag.
I enjoyed the movie.
Right.
Oh.
See, I didn't know.
No arguments today.
I didn't know if you would Aries because I did think I was watching it at times, kind of thinking that
it was over an hour and a half long.
It was a little, that like knowing how much you love the Evil Dead films, like, when somebody loves something, like it'd be like I know a lot of Misfits fans that hate the 900 million other bands that sound like the Misfits. So I could have saw you as a big Evil Dead fan not liking how, I guess it's not the word I want to use, but derivative, like.
Well, one question is, Aries, did you see Evil Dead influence when you watched this?
Yes.
Okay. Just because, clearly it's sort of there, so but I
did watch the movie. So
yeah, right. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right.
You'd have to be blind not to see that influence.
You had to ask him another question, didn't you?
Matt Murdock saw the dip. Sorry.
Did you like? See again, like I sort of like. I think Tiny won't like. Like there's an argument to be made. The part that I like about it, which is the fact that they settled up a little bit some of the more bombastic elements of Raimi's filmmaking, and some of the more, which added to some of the more iconic elements of Evil Dead, you've kind of like fucking ruined it. You know what I mean? It's like doing an acoustic version of a Slayer song or whatever, which I, think that shit's cool, but that's just me. Like, do you think that, like, the fact that the Deadites were more, for lack of a better way to put it, primal, did that work, or did you like?
Well, you're dealing with someone's first movie compared to someone's, what do we... I forget the count.
Yeah,
six.
I mean, we've done 2 this year, so
It's eighth or ninth.
Two this
month.
Yeah, 2 this month. Right. So, and it's only because we're running out of time that I'm surprised Macabre isn't going to come out from Netflix now too. But
Macabre.
But yeah. Well, I mean, that's true too. But like I thought I could see somebody like you or Tiny saying like I just felt like it was like Evil Dead but not fun.
I mean,
like
this movie did have its problems. I'm not
right, sure. No, I'm not saying it didn't. I wanted this to be and I bet you Wolfie's going to come down in the same place. Maybe Josh, because I know that Wolfie and I are big fans of this director. I wanted this to be my favorite movie of the year. Like I wanted this to be a classic. In the same way that I think the Night Comes For Us is a modern classic in its genre. Yeah. But I don't think it was that.
I mean it's really difficult because The Night Comes For Us is sort of a transcendent film, and this I think is a good horror film, and it definitely stands apart from the pack of stuff that you might find on Netflix.
Right.
But it doesn't do for horror what The Night Comes For Us does for action. Yeah. Like that is like the fucking best action movie maybe of the year, if not the last couple years. Whereas this is a very good horror film,
right?
But it doesn't stand out enough.
Yeah,
like The Night Comes For Us, and it's too much to expect. I mean, we can't expect it to be the best horror film of the year. I mean, that's tough to do. But he creates a very tense, sort of. See, what I guess scary is subjective. I know Josh and MZ both have said they weren't scared. I wasn't scared either, but I can also see when something is scary to people. Like like I can tell, like I could see people being freaked out by this. And one of my favorite scenes actually was when she was in the hospital with her dad.
Super scary.
Yeah, and then there's that creature behind the curtain kind of moving closer. Like that to me was like people are going to be fucking freaked out by that.
I don't.
Yeah, but you can't judge a film. You can't judge a film on how other people
I'm
are going
not
to feel.
judging a film on it. I'm just saying I can see people being
that
scared.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like he can
I
see
like how
them.
Morris mirrored what I was saying.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's positive.
It's
just because you're numb to everything that is in horror movies nowadays,
Including
doesn't
joy.
mean the general public is not.
Yeah.
Could you see people being scared by that, MZ? Or do you think it's crazy that people would be scared by that scene?
If they've never seen a horror film before, sure.
You suck.
Yeah. If they're children, maybe a nana.
Yeah. I got a hot take. You ready? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not that good. Go fuck yourself.
Look, you think The
You
Shining
fucking
ain't,
twat.
Look, you think The Shining
not
ain't that good, so
Shining's
go fuck
not that
yourself.
good. Read a book, you'd agree.
Wow.
Goddamn illiterate.
So I
Haven't
have
seen
a-
it.
Illiterate. I'm illiterate.
Yeah, no, probably.
I'm illiterate.
Yep. You can say it as loud as
Yeah, if you say it louder, it doesn't make it any less true.
Yeah.
So we've acknowledged the Evil Dead influence, but one thing I found interesting was that I see a very definite influence not only from the original Evil Dead but from the remake as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, yeah.
And that's because, to me, the overall aesthetic and the possession and all that's all coming right out of the Raimi film.
True, yeah, I can see that.
The visual aesthetic and story history of the basement is much more like the remake.
In the rain. You know, and how dirty it is. Like
Yeah.
I think all those things. There's still something especially in the second film, which was a set. There's still something. There's something very clean about Evil Dead.
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
you know?
I mean the scene outside with the rain and they're all getting soaked and dirty and everything. I mean that shit's real, and it looked very, very good. But at the same time, I'm just rolling my eyes, saying, "This is saying to myself, this is a director who is much better than this."
You know what's interesting about it? I'm certainly not agreeing with you.
Of course, why would you do that?
Something to be said about his film trajectory without seeing Macabre, right? So he made Killers, which was a very I'd say a very transgressive, a very, while at its heart was a thriller and certainly had horror elements, it definitely dealt with not very likable people and kept you at arm's length, which made all the maybe at times cliche or not cliche twists and turns more effective because you were on the balls of your feet because it was weird. It was uncomfortable, based on someone that made snuff films and someone who was a fan of that person, so you didn't have anyone to like. The follow-up to that, and I don't know where Macabre sits, and I've never seen it, but
It was the first one.
The follow-up, what was released next was Headshot, which was essentially the Indonesian Bourne Identity. It was great. It was the same sort of thing in the sense where what made that movie better than any other sort of Bourne Identity ripoff was the directing and the stunt choreography and everything else. So there is something that he seems to like to do in the sense where he wants to make something that even though for us we're probably numb to that, even though we weren't numb to the violence, try to sell, even to the people I work with that like sort of stuff like that. The Night comes to us as a hard sell. That's a 2-hour plus fucking really violent action film. That's not an easy sell.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the length of 2 Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out though is because you reference Macabre, like Macabre not being released.
Right.
I've seen Johnny scroll past the artwork for it. A couple of years ago, that was on Hulu. I remember
Really?
scrolling past that artwork numerous times.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got this like. Well, I know they were making a big deal that it was coming out on Shudder.
Right, right.
So I just assumed that they
Yeah.
had because
So-
they put their name on it.
Yeah, but I know it was available at one time
Okay.
because I definitely recognized that artwork.
Sure.
I don't know if it's still available anywhere.
Yeah, if anybody has, I don't have Hulu, but if anybody has
Yeah.
it, look. But I think that there's something to be said for the fact that, and there's nothing wrong with this, right? Like the I think the Coen brothers would have got another 20 years if they were able to nail this down a little bit to do. And it's a skill too, right? Like a lot of artists do one for me, one for them. What's his name? Who did the movie with Gina? Jeez, I can't remember. Bruckheimer, like
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Is that who I'm thinking of? Like,
Well, one's a director. You said Gina though.
well, yeah. He's someone who did Haywire. Who was that?
Oh, Gina Caruso.
Yeah. Who director did that? But there are a lot of directors who do one for him, kind of one for me.
Carano.
But there's something to be said for the fact that his one for, his more commercial films are as viably and as satisfying as his more transgressive films. Because again, The Night Comes for Us is fucking really violent.
Mm-hmm.
I've often quantified it to my friends at work by using the old, my old H.P. Lovecraft comparison, which is H.P. Lovecraft, racist for his times, which is to say people who are one generation away from having slaves were like, I don't know, Howard. Like, I don't want to see it. Like, The Night Comes for Us is the most violent movie I've ever seen.
Wow.
That's the most violent movie I've ever seen.
Wow.
So that's transgressive. Like, even though it's packaged as an action movie and it's a little more fun, like, if you really watch that movie, like, in segments, and I've been doing that a lot lately, there's a dude who gets his head fucking slammed on a glass window in that movie and dragged across the shards to die. That fucking doesn't happen in whack-ass shit like Serbian Film or fucking Human Centipede or shit that they're trying to sell us as transgressive. You know what I mean? Like, these are legitimately confrontive films. Now, it is maybe jarring in the face of that when you look at that this is more, despite the fact that it has fucking people's heads getting torn off and a lot of crazy shit, this is certainly more of a palatable, fun watch than that film we watched earlier in the month. I loved that movie, but I wouldn't say that I was exhilarated, but I wouldn't say that I was like, it wasn't like when I came out of fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1983. So
Soderbergh. You're thinking of Soderbergh.
thank you. It was fucking haunting me, and I didn't want to look at my phone. But, so that's interesting, right? The fact that he does seem to do. Mike is another example of that, who might do a fucking 10 children's movies and then do another fucking crazy
Visitor
ass
Q.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
One thing I was just kind of looking through Timo's Twitter, and so I don't know who this person is, but somebody tweets out and says, "May the Devil Take You may possibly be the scariest movie I've ever seen, and I'm a horror buff. It makes American horror looks like Disney, so check it out on Netflix." So Timo, replied and said, "Nonsense. American horror is where I took a lot of my inspiration from." Thank
Sure.
you, though, my man.
Yeah, that's cool. It's good. And that's good too. I mean, here's another thing. There's a guy I know. He's a real good guy. He's a great musician. He's a horror fanatic. His girlfriend actually came and had you sign a DVD. I know because I've often tried to sell him some more, off the beaten path stuff that we watch here. He is not a horror. He is not an international horror guy, but he is a horror guy, and he told me that he enjoyed this and was finding it scary. Like, so, he's not you. There's only one you.
Oh yeah, there is.
Okay, Mr. Rogers.
Illiterate.
But I even liked that was kind of a jerky demon too, running amok, breaking shit in the house. Like I liked that. I like the way that during the possession, the way she'd crawl fuck shit up.
Right.
I like the under the bed scene. Once again, it just. Red?
Yeah, no, I like. There was something that made me laugh in this. I watched it 3 times. Yeah, no, he was a fucking dick. Like,
You want to see a great under the bed scene? I just watched this movie a couple days ago. Movie called Terrified.
Terrified.
yeah, no,
Terrified.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, it's on
Not
Shudder.
Terrifier. Not Terrifier.
I thought that
Terrified.
movie was great, but I thought this under the bed scene was neater. But I thought that I loved.
Yeah,
that movie.
the under the bed scene in Terrified is fantastic.
No, I thought that was great, but I thought this was cooler. But I mean, not to say I haven't been pimping Terrified for probably 2 or 3 months now. So, or 1 month. It's the fucking longest October ever. But yeah, so that's another good movie. But
I mean, it looks good. This movie looks good. It sounds good. The score, like you mentioned,
is terrific.
sounds really, really great.
Yep.
The performances from the actors,
I thought were fucking great.
I felt were overdone. I just felt that they amped it up just a little bit too much. Now I don't know if that's if it's from Timo's way of getting these kind of performances out of these characters, but I'm more able to believe that the over the top performances from his actors and actresses in films like Headshot and films like the last one that we saw from him.
The Night Comes for Us.
That's it. I can never remember that name.
If I could chime in.
Ooh, yeah, please.
Oh God, here it comes.
I'm
Let me finish, and then I'll. Okay. I'm more apt to believe that those over the top performances are a bit more believable because of the situations involved. The situations involved here, I feel, because I've seen so many of these kind of movies, just like everybody else has. But from my perspective,
Not everyone else has seen as many movies as you.
but what I'm saying is that I just think that the over-the-top performances does not equate to what's going on.
I don't really think it was over
on
the
the
top,
screen.
though.
I don't at all.
Yeah, I don't think it was over the top at all.
No, I felt it was a bit over the top.
In fact, I think that Chelsea Island is great and everything. that
Yeah,
I've
and
seen
she was
her
in
do.
Headshot as well.
Yes.
Yeah, she was the nurse, I think.
I thought
Yep.
Alfie
Patiently
was
waiting
great.
my turn here. Don't want to interrupt anyone in the
Tag him
event.
in. Give him the hot tag.
Give him the hot tag.
I also no, I'm not.
me.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
He's going to pull you out of the ring and come right in.
I as I watched this movie, I also did feel that the performances were over the top. But as the movie progressed, I felt that the flashbacks justified the over the top performances earlier on in the movie. That it wasn't just an instant dial it up to 10, that it was remembering from past. So it was justified.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you see where I'm coming from?
Oh
with
no,
the-
no,
with the
I
flashbacks?
get
You
what you're saying.
understand?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get what you're saying. And from a certain perspective, that could be, that's an argument to be made. Sure.
for me, over the top
I
is
just didn't feel the same way.
over the top is like the fucking Room.
Like
you know?
Rip and Zeus.
Yeah, well, like fucking Al Pacino.
Yeah,
she
like
got a
this-
great ass.
Yeah, like
wait,
thi-
wait, have you seen The Room yet?
No, I've seen bits and pieces. I
Then
know
don't
enough.
start. Don't start.
Oh, fucking
throwing
look
that
at-
shit in
How
my
fucking
face.
dare you, Johnny?
Don't start throwing that shit in my face.
Look at fucking Johnny Gatekeeper with the
Yeah.
room here.
Sit in your fucking tower,
yeah,
Johnny.
yeah.
He does it to me all the time.
No.
He does it to me. He does it to me.
Name
I
one
could do it
time.
right
You
back to
do
him.
realize
Name one time I
that the room is like kind of like it's not Miami Connection. It's kind of like this like
I think you've seen The Room.
I haven't seen the room, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet
Oh, I
you
thought
when
you
I
did.
sit
I thought
down
you
to
did.
see the room, I'll have seen
I've seen it.
everything that there is to see about the room. Like,
Is it over the top, Josh?
It is quite over the top.
so why are you doing?
You
My point fucking stands, you
no,
asshole.
your point doesn't stand because you haven't seen the movie.
there are definitely moments of it that are over the top.
So I can't say that. I'm not. I'm
you
not.
can.
I'm not qualified
That's
to
right.
say that
You
it's
are
over
not
the top.
qualified.
You don't have
Even though
your-
all of you can.
You don't have your room
We've
master.
seen it.
And there are also performances in it that are extremely underplayed to a worse degree than the people that are over the top.
Winner takes it all, loser takes a fall. So
Well,
wait.
The doctor said I have breast cancer.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I just.
Well, I think Alfie. I mean, her motivations are pretty. She's got a point.
Funniest breast cancer line.
Yeah,
of all
she's fucked up, right? Like
from the first scene, from the minute we see her to being at the fucking home with the
Right.
stepmom and the stepkids.
Right.
Her piss and vinegar is pretty fucking justified.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the stepmom really goes to fucking A to B mode really fucking quickly.
Yeah,
and as the movie unfolds, it makes more sense too.
Right,
you know,
I
in
agree,
terms of,
and I think that I feel like Wolfie has a nuclear payload here, but like I think that the thing that I feel like may have been lost on MZ is that this traditional trapping was used as kind of a backdrop for this fractured family dynamic, because one thing that the demon did, other than fucking do a fucking like flip over and tear a lamp off the ceiling for no fucking reason. Yeah, like she was like no reason, fucking jumped up, fucking tore that lamp and fell down, no reason. Dick.
Dick demon.
Like this whole demon's play was as opposed to just like, oh, you know, an Evil Dead or whatever else. Oh, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's somebody I know, that's my mom, that's my dad.
Yeah.
You were fucking being confronted and tried to be lulled in by people you didn't like, trust, or really know, or people that you had like, you had no way to. The only way Alfie had to like fucking suss out if some of these people were really these people were her preconceived notions of them from kind of watching them from afar and like being obsessed with them basically. So like she wanted to be part of this family, but kind of be careful what you wish for, because she was thrust into this situation with these people who weren't this idyllic situation like she thought they were going to be.
And
you
that
know?
could be even like a byproduct of the devil gets his due, right? You know, you make a deal with the devil, it's going to come back to haunt you.
Thank you, Michael Raven.
You know?
What the fuck? This is a fucking nightmare hell dream. This one fucking hates it. This one gets it. Like, what's fucking going on? This one's called me illiterate.
But yeah, like that's fucking the thing. Like the wealth and the power. Oh, and here's your even more perfect family, a more beautiful family. But it's fucking gonna come back to fucking
right.
Yeah.
She wanted, to a degree, she felt she wasn't good enough to be part of that other family, right? And she wanted, to a degree.
No, I think it's that she was resentful that
she was resentful
that
against
her
them.
father,
She was
moved on to the.
But
other
also, you wanted to. I think they wanted to think that, but when she showed them the book, Todd, I can't remember his name. He had a Reuben.
Yeah.
Like looked at it and like it, like a lot of it said that he was like, she wasn't obsessed with them. She was angry at him, but she wasn't obsessed with him. She wasn't obsessed with them negatively.
Right.
Like she felt like she wasn't good enough. Right? Like so they thought when she saw that when the sister saw that book, she thought she was like a creepy stalker like that. But like she didn't understand why he loved these people and not her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she'd almost to a degree she like would draw herself and write I'm sorry, and she would have pictures of them and like pictures of him. To a degree I felt, and I could have misread it, there was a double-edged sword where while she resented him and resented not being part of it, she sort of, deified them in the same way that the press deified the whole family, which might have been a byproduct of the spell, too. Might not have been legitimate. Like, she might have, that book very well might have been her working through how she legitimately felt versus how the Zengist of the world was made to feel because he cast this giant incantation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a bad mix of political rhetoric mixed with monster hunting nerdiness.
But it was, the one thing I did like is I really enjoyed just sort of the opening scene and you get to see sort of what the deal the father made, and I thought that whole scene was fucking beautiful. And I loved I guess we could
Yeah,
call
really
it
set the stage.
the devil's concubine. I
Right.
guess you could call her.
Ooh.
And I thought that character was fucking great.
Yeah,
and
me-
that scene when she's like floating,
Yeah.
like all that stuff was so spot on. I thought that was so good.
If I made a movie tomorrow, I'd try to get that guy to be. That guy's a fucking underrated villain in the entertainment industry right now. He's the
guy
main
who
villain
played
in the
the
Raid.
dad? Who the one who played the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was what's his name in the Raid, right? Like hitting people in the face with hammers.
Ray
Sehatapi.
Sehatapi.
Sehatapi, yeah.
Am I right? Is that who that was?
Let me take a look and see.
Oh, wait, is it?
Yeah, he was in the Raid. Yeah,
He
played,
wasn't a
he
Raid,
played,
but I wonder.
Yes.
he played Tama.
Tama.
Yeah, so I think that was him, right? I can't remember.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so
Yeah, right. I was getting confused for a minute with the creepy crawly guy who was in Karate Kill and.
this guy was also in Killers as well.
Oh yeah. He
He
was
was
in Karate
don't
Kill in
know.
the VHS segment. It's the creepy weird guy dumped milk all over himself, and he played the bar owner at the first set piece in Karate Kill. Which man, I am so fucking happy to be living through this action renaissance. But
Yeah, it's
you know,
seen some great stuff.
yeah, like, but I mean, again, I if I liked this less, and I wonder if anybody would agree with me. I know Raven Shadow would, but we're coming at it with very different levels of tolerance, though. So to say that I'm in the same place he is saying something. I think I would prefer a lesser version of this right now, late in 2018. Than something, not to sound like this dude was Steven Spielberg, but then something that was trying to teach me some deep-rooted philosophical lesson. Like, I really appreciated this right now. I thought that was... Anyone know what I mean? Like,
I do. Yeah. It ain't. Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, muffs. It ain't gonna be important all the time.
But it wasn't dumb either. That's what I
Right.
liked.
It wasn't a social. Social horror? What's the term?
Social thriller.
Social thriller.
I mean, it had elements of that. I don't know if you're going to use it at all.
But no, I don't know. I don't know how to use it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just repeating words I've heard. Words I've heard. I can't
You're like
fucking
a stretched out toddler.
Yes, a very hairy, stretched out toddler. That chain smokes.
Well, you're like that. You're like that fucking like one of those weird Play-Doh toys. As they pull on you, hair comes out.
Nice.
All right. Anything else you guys want to mention about this before we head on to the verdict?
Did I talk so much that you couldn't, or did you?
No,
were you
I mean, I
just-
mostly got.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I did want to mention, just as one of my favorite scenes, was the face tearing scene.
Oh
Fucking
my
great.
fucking god!
That was fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
then
makeup and the effects in this were great.
the fucking tooth maybe fucking killed me.
Yeah, I like that.
I just love that. Like the it just looks so good, that face tearing.
We've had two fucking outstanding. Like I've seen two fucking outstanding face tearing scenes this year.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Victor Crowley yet.
Oh, is
I
there
can't.
one on that?
Well, I can't believe like that
there's
fucking
a huge one in that.
that fucking dude rips off people's faces like Jason. Like Michael Myers stabs people. Jason is big on. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but slamming people's heads into things. Victor Crowley fucking gets hard for ripping people's faces off.
Yeah.
Like he's big on the Chelsea smiles.
Like ripping Zeus.
Yeah.
And I let me see. I just wanted to mention the guy who scored it, just because I think it bears mentioning, because he's actually done a lot of stuff working with Timo and Gareth Evans, and the composer was Fajar Yuskamal, and he's done a pretty good amount of stuff with these guys. So, he also did the score for Apostle. Oh, he did sound design for Apostle. But he also did, as far as composing, never mind. He also did Apostle. He did May the Devil Take You, Headshot, The Raid 2, Killers, VHS 2, Safe Haven segment. He did the Ellis for Libido and ABC's Death, Raid Redemption, Moronto. So he's basically done almost all of Gareth Evans.
Quality flicks right there.
That was the jacking off one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Now I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. That was unfortunately one of my least favorites in that.
Wow.
You fucking try. He made a movie.
But if that's the only thing that I don't love of Timo's, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. And again, that was pretty confrontational.
Yes. I mean, it definitely I mean, when you have like what anywhere from like 90 seconds to what 5 minutes, like you don't have a lot. That was memorable,
Right.
if anything.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to forget that.
No.
that
You do
short.
you do the assignment,
Right.
and sometimes what first pops into your head.
Yeah. Not
you
everybody
gotta
gets to be Kari Andrews and shows up for that thing with like for full 25-minute movie.
I know, right?
With fucking robots and same flip side. Not everybody gets to be Ty. I need a fucking new refrigerator. West just like
I
film some woman walking from room to room for 10 minutes and then say A is for abortion.
No, it was M is for miscarriage.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right, well, let's head to the verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether the May the Devil Take You was a trick or a treat. And any final thoughts we may have. Marsman.
Dope. This is
It wasn't one of the options.
Yeah. Sorry. That's my other podcast. Dope or whack. By the way, Monster, they're whack. I like this, man. Like I was actually fearful of not knowing who, but like, like somebody not being able to get by the familiarity of some of this stuff to see the new shine that it put on it. Breaking up is hard to do in the song world. Will never get old if it's done brilliantly. It's only when it's done boringly. And for me, a cabin in the secluded in the woods.
This was a VO.
Yeah, will be. Well, yeah, they're good. They have nice fucking waffles, right? Is that place? Our local restaurant, Via. It's a vegan establishment.
Sorry, Vila.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he fixes nice houses too.
Bob Vila.
Bob
Right.
Vila.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that that's there's always something there for me if somebody fucking goes for it, and Timo goes for it like nobody else. Like whether it's the something really confrontational and transgressive like some of his films, or whether it's just a fucking coked up take on a tried and true genre. I'm really a big fan of Timo.
Yep.
This is a treat.
All right, MZ.
For me, I'm always looking forward to the next film that this guy makes. I mean, he's established himself, I think, among all of us that he's definitely one of the hot directors out there, and he never disappoints. This film, on the other hand,
except
this film. Man, he hits all the right marks as far as the things that we've discussed, as far as the production value goes in this film, and he hits them pretty square on, very good. But unfortunately, I just feel that this movie is just not for me, because if I want to see a movie like this, I'll watch Evil Dead, or I'll watch Demons, or Night of the Demons. Good call on those, by the way. What was that? Good call on that, by the way, because those were the exact same movies that I was thinking of that you brought up. Are you flipping me off while I'm reviewing the film? No.
That was earlier on during the intros too.
And I didn't find this film the tiniest bit scary. I didn't even find it tense. It was pretty much an eye roller for me. This is a minor trick because the production value on this movie is so good. But I've seen I've seen these type of scares before, and I'm at a point right now where it's I'm kind of numb to it. Like
says the guy who likes butt crack.
Exactly, because you've never seen a movie like that.
I've never seen a zombie movie. Nope.
No, that people that turn into zombies after they look at some guy's dead ass.
That's
Seriously?
what it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy comes back from the dead. They stare at his ass, and they turn into zombies.
How does that fucking happen?
You have to watch the movie.
No,
you don't got to watch the movie in this case, right,
I mean,
Shadow?
did they toss a salad, or did they really?
Yeah, you got to watch the movie.
Was it romaine?
Yeah.
I just saw a funny meme that somebody said, I just saw a bag of romaine lettuce teaching little kids how to smoke.
So this is a minor trick for me, but like I said, I'm always looking forward to Tino's next film. So
Tino.
Yeah,
I
Tito.
said Timo.
Bruno Sammartino. He's a new
Bruno Sammartino.
I think this movie was a good movie. I think that Mr. McMahon, Tino and Tarantula, right? The great Spanish rock
Timo
band.
and Tarantula, yeah.
So
man.
barely a trick, right? That's what you're fishing for.
Yeah, barely a trick.
That was how that is. Tepid treat and barely a trick. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been so long since I've used those terms. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
even remember what
that
they
one
are.
doesn't get thrown around a lot.
But what's that movie with Timo Tim that you like so much? You're a big fan of that.
Yeah, Blood Harvest.
Yeah.
Timo Tim.
Now that's a movie that fucking treads new ground.
Right?
No, wrong. I love that movie.
That's a fucking movie.
I love it, but I'm,
Too bad Brandon wasn't here. We could talk about it.
Right.
Timo Bryson.
What was that?
Timo Bryson.
All right, so
I like the mouse.
let's kick it over to Josh.
Okay, so as I had said, I thought the story was good. I thought the acting was good. It looked fantastic. The music was good. I think it could have been tightened up a little bit. I think if that was the case, it might have brought some of the tension back for me. And I don't think the small amounts of digital effects were necessarily bad, but I also kind of thought they weren't really necessary either.
That fire, right? That's one thing that bugged me.
Yeah, well,
It actually looked pretty good, and it
Yeah,
was
there was a-
intercut with actual
Real fire.
Yeah.
right.
Some
but,
poor asshole probably burning to death for it.
but I'm just saying, like all of the physical effects were so good, and for that kind of ghostly movement, we got that from the camera movement. So I just thought that what use of digital there was just seemed unnecessary. I'm not
Sure,
saying it
sure.
was bad. But,
Okay.
but I am going to say a treat and a recommend.
Good.
Because
That's good.
it
Thank
was
you.
still a very good and entertaining watch.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. See you in a couple 7 or 8 months.
7 or 8 years, man. All right, Aries.
Treat.
No, come on.
What? You want to hear more?
He's all cranky.
No, don't be pillow
Fucking
pants.
just- yeah, come on. He's wringing his beard over there like a supervillain. Like,
Come on.
Get his goat, Raven Shadow. Get his goat. Come on.
you've got stuff
Go
to
at him.
say. I can tell.
The
Come on.
table's over it. No. You've been on fire lately. Don't hold yourself back. Don't limit yourself.
I can take it. I wasn't complaining. I was just throwing the gauntlet back. That's the way this works.
Jesus Christ.
See, the way a wrestling feud works in Aries' world is that Aries jumps somebody, and then and leaves him in the ring, and then that wrestler just leaves him. That's the end of it. I was trying to fucking get it going again. Yeah. And just wringing your beard over there like a supervillain.
Hey, there's always next week, you know.
Oh, God damn it.
Right. Well,
Don't
next
be
week he's gonna go back up the mountain and try to make Yogi and his friends not have Christmas.
Oh, ding dang, those pesky bears.
See, there's those voices.
Look at you.
Hermit the Hermit.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Fucking
I hate Christmas.
Mel Blanc over here.
Mel Boink. Boink to the bueno.
Who put the boink in the boink to boink? I should be drinking.
Oh, I know, after the show. When I watched this movie, I was still very much high.
on life, right?
No, off The Night Comes For Us. Dude, I did that. It was just...
Well, actually, smoking pot in Massachusetts is illegal now.
It is.
I mean, legal. It's legal.
Yeah, legal to buy it.
So you can.
Yeah, it's legal, but ain't 100% legal. You can't be walking down the street, smoke a joint,
No,
puff
you can
away.
in the privacy of your own home.
Right, I was quoting Pulp Fiction there,
Right.
so I wasn't saying that I stole John Travolta's line.
It's right. Jeez, you hear that punch, and I'm happy.
No, we're feuding. It's all your fault, Mars.
It's right down the fucking street from you now, too. All I could think of you.
Well, and we talked about it a little bit on the air, off the air before you guys came in. But it is fucking. There is a 20% taxes on this. Like it's ridiculous. Like yes, you can buy it. But I don't know. The old-fashioned way works. Go see a guy. Support your local drug dealer.
Well, you have to watch YouTube videos with them.
That's fine. But we watched a whole bunch of ghost videos the other
Nice.
day.
You see, what was that song? Cerise. The one with like the Carrie girl.
Yeah. There was
That's awesome,
that one.
right?
The one where he was like bald and like wearing like suits.
Yeah.
The one the kid. There was like kids playing like a high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. With
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's good. I mean, it takes about an hour and a half. You can't just run in and run out. People could be watching, but fucking listen. It's way too fucking overpriced. But anyway, no, I was just basking in the afterglow of The Night Comes for Us. And I knew this wasn't going to be a direct, the horror version of that. You know what I mean? I kind of knew just from the jump that it'd be a slower burn. I'm probably somewhere in the middle of Josh's conversation and Aries, their points of view. But did anyone notice, or it was just me, that the drawings in the sketchbook reminded me of Slagoth?
A little bit.
I didn't think that, but
a little bit.
With the face stuff.
Yeah,
and some of the
I can
gore.
see that. Yeah.
A little bit.
So it's kind of cool. But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I love this dude. I would love to see him now take on a fucking superhero movie. Like, give him the fucking Thunderbolts. It'd be excellent.
I'd rather see more Night Comes for Us.
Well, yeah, but I could be like,
Yeah.
put like Crossbones on the team and like Shang-Chi or something. I don't fucking know. Taskmaster would be excellent.
Maybe you can make a Prince Adam movie.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? I mean, is it so on the nose? That's the thing. Like, it's fucking awesome. I was very excited to get my Prince Adam figure back in the day. That was a very exciting day. But I'm digressing. Yeah, man, treat.
All right, and for me, so when I look at a horror movie, what am I looking for? I'm looking for some good scares, potentially. Whether or not they scare me, that is subjective. But I'm looking for that creep factor, something that is definitely feeling creepy, something with some gore. Like this, for me, checked off all the boxes of what I look for in a really good horror film. And it did a lot of what I've liked that previous films have done, but moved it forward a little bit as well and did something a little bit different. I really like the angle that Timo came with this film. And I did like the performances, unlike some of these other guys. I don't think they were over the top at all. But I thought that this was just a really well-oiled machine, that this movie hit everything. It was firing on all cylinders. Like I think Josh had mentioned, the camera work was outstanding. The lighting, it had a very visceral style. Like I felt like it was not quite like Sam Raimi per se, but I felt like I was in the action a lot of times. Like it was the camera, the way the camera moved and everything. So I felt that it was a really good presentation. The makeup effects were great. I thought some of the characters looked phenomenal, and I thought this was a relatively fresh take on a sort of like tried and true method. And seriously, what can't this fucking guy do? Like, he is one of the best action directors right now. In my estimation, after seeing this, I think he's one of the best horror directors. Maybe, based on what some of the other guys said, could he have gone a little bit further? Yes, I think he could have. And I don't know if that's going to be his gimmick per se, is really pushing boundaries. But with The Night Comes for Us, that fucking broke boundaries. Like, that was, like Mars says, could be the most violent film I've ever seen as well. So, like, that really pushed the fucking needle forward. And in this one, he doesn't necessarily, step on the gas all the way, but what he does is really impressive. And there's some really standout scenes, standout moments. And I thought this was really good. And I would love to see Timo tackle another horror film in the future. I hope he doesn't get pigeonholed into just doing action. But if he did, I wouldn't be sad, because he's fucking great at it. So, and I got to say, this guy's got to be one of the best genre filmmakers working today.
Yeah.
Like, is there any dispute?
Fuck no.
Even MZ, even if you didn't love this movie, can you dispute?
I'm always looking forward to his next project.
So, like, this guy has just in the last month has shot up as one of the great genre filmmakers working today. And I don't know how old Timo is. I'm guessing he's fairly young. And like, we still have probably, I don't know, if he keeps going, 30, 40 years left of films from Timo, depending on, how long he works and how old he is and all that good stuff. But you know, like that to me is really exciting to know that we're going to get a lot more film.
I mean,
output
George
from
Romero's
him.
dead. That guy's got a new movie coming out.
True.
Yeah, right.
He's like fucking Tupac.
We got a hologram.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll put out 70 more films when he's dead. And
So yeah, this is a treat for me. I really dug this film, and it's on Netflix. So you got no reason to check it out. Go ahead and check it out.
To not check it out.
To not check it out. Yes, thank
I'm
you.
with you, baby.
Thank you. So
they say
everyone,
he's about 38 years old.
all right,
He's a lot older
there you
than I
go.
thought he was.
Or would you think he's 11?
Yeah, Jesus
I
Christ.
figured him to be in his 20s somewhere.
Well, I didn't think that. I thought
that
it was
means
maybe
that
in
he's
his 30s.
what?
I
Would
thought it was
did
maybe in his
Macabre
30s.
come out when he was 12?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna make a movie called Killers.
My future, my future wife, Julia Estelle, is 29.
Your future wife.
Okay, slow
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, you're gonna
Goddamn right.
restraining order.
Yeah, future restraining order.
Yeah.
Contestant.
All right, so that is going to do it for our discussion about May the Devil Take You. Everyone check it out. If you guys want to give us your thoughts, feel free to send a voicemail, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And you know what? If we do, since we had such a huge turnout with our Indonesian fan base for The Night Comes For Us, if anyone in Indonesia checks out this discussion for the May the Devil Take You, we'd love to hear from you guys and love to hear what sort of cultural impact this may have had, if any, how the cultural references. You know, that's just not something we're privy to. I mean, living here, we don't know the difference between Indonesia and India for most of us, anyways.
Wait, what?
Raven Shadow couldn't pick either one out on the fucking map, so.
Not the same place.
So
now, big ups to all of the Indonesians.
Indonesians? What?
Indonesians.
Why, nice.
What's the capital of Indonesia?
Indonesian city.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Actually, I don't even know.
Everyone knows it. Yeah,
I think
is it Jakarta?
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's in
Jakarta.
Jakarta.
Yeah, it's called Jim Carter. It's great.
Jim Carter.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Olympian.
Jim Carter.
Unlike the person that you insulted in Finland, which was a person.
Yeah.
I didn't
You've
insult
insulted
Finland.
a whole country.
No, big,
Yeah.
No, I'm having fun with the Indonesians.
I'm having fun with
I'm
the
having fun with you. It's
Indonesians.
Thanksgiving.
My
up
life
here.
is awful. My life is terrible.
I'm very excited about them. I want to go.
You're very
You want to meet them all? You want to shake their
I
hands?
do.
Now I know why you're never on camera. Then.
No, thank you guys for doing what you do, and
Do what you do.
thank you.
This is terrible.
All right. So next week we have not picked out a movie yet, mostly because we have another guest, and I think we're going to let our guest help to pick the movie. But Mars, is our guest?
Dude.
Is it in the books? It's written in pen.
Well, I mean, I can show you the message. Like,
Okay, because this one didn't work out so well.
It's
this
written
week.
in digital text.
It's probably a safer bet. Do you want to go ahead and announce?
No.
No? You get cold feet now?
No, what I am, I'm having second. Things have been such a blur lately.
All right, well, I'll let you look for. Maybe we'll do a commercial and come back and then say.
Jim Carter, Indonesia.
Next week's the 28th, right?
Yes.
Let me just put a message right now.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to a break. We'll be back, and we'll get some voicemails. We're going to wrap things up. So, MZ, how long until we're back?
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glory is a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the cult of muscle.
I'm Alex West. And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast. And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio. Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you gotta check out Trick or Treat Radio.
Gangsta bitches, gangsta hoes. Gangsta bitches, gangsta hoes. I use my penis to get the gangsta nose. Gangsta bitches, gangsta hoes. Scorpio.
That's the Deadites jam. Gangsta bitches, gangsta hoes. You want to hear it again, MZ?
I haven't. No, I've heard it before.
Which was forbade to be on 20th Century Bastards.
Come on, even as a hidden track.
I was told no way, Jose.
Oh, it should be, yeah.
I just figured it
Make it a hidden track, dude.
All right, so we're back without Raven Shadow, thankfully.
Boy, what a shock that is.
And we get some voicemail. Actually, before we get to voicemail, let's catch up with Josh. So, Josh,
yes.
You've been a busy man. You're on the shelf for a little bit, but besides that, you've been obviously working, doing a lot of projection jobs and stuff like that. So, I don't know, is there anything newsworthy, or have you done any cool festivals? Have you contributed to any re-releases of films lately with any of your prints? Have you picked up any new prints you're excited about? Anything like that?
There's not a lot of exciting stuff going on because, I do a lot of work for hire on small festivals.
Yep.
But nothing really, kind of the interest for the podcast right now. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing any screenings for a long time just because they're too cost prohibitive.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because you have to rent the room or the venue.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't make your money back, and that's kind of a pain in the ass.
That sucks.
Yeah. As far as releases I've contributed to, there have been a couple through Code Red and Scorpion releasing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Scorpion.
Yeah.
Scorpio.
It's Raven Shadow's releasing company.
They not too long ago released a 70s movie with the wonderfully misleading title Last House on Massacre Street.
Yeah.
And that actually came from my print. The movies had numerous titles, including the very bland title The Bride, which is actually the most fitting title, because it's just more of like a psychological thriller. And let's see, they also used, I think, my print of The House That Vanished for release. The two things that I know I submitted materials for that have not come out yet, Scorpion is, I believe, working on a Blu-ray of the proto-slasher Rituals with Hal Holbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I know they used my print for that. And this next one got delayed a little bit, so it's not coming out till January. I was hoping it would be ready in time for Christmas, but Shout Select is doing a nice Blu-ray collector's edition of Plague Dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And they used my trailer because I had a trailer that was made specifically for the U.S. premiere.
Wow.
Of the movie.
You need to call them and say, we will give you the review of Plague Dogs for a supplement for free.
For free,
Yeah, I saw
video and audio for free.
I saw that in the theater.
Plague Dogs?
Yeah.
Did you
Call
cry?
them.
No.
You didn't cry?
I'll let
I
them
don't
know.
cry.
I'll let them know that. You
'Cause
guys
it's
wanted
free.
to-
Heartless fuck.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it and it affected us.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I made the Christmas joke is that the trailer I have for the U.S. premiere was for a theater in San Francisco, and literally opens with the title card, "Just in time for Christmas."
Just in time to scare the
Wow.
fucking kids.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Jesus.
So-
Did you guys see there's a like a live action Watership Down that's
Yeah.
coming out? Let me see.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's got John Boyega is in it.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep.
That movie is about fucking rabbits.
Yeah.
Fucking rabbits? Oh
That-
no!
well,
oh,
yeah, that's what
I'm
they
sorry.
do.
It's a
That's a tough movie to
it's
sit
a
through.
miniseries, not a movie.
Ooh.
It's got Peter Capaldi, who is one of the doctors.
Are they gonna wear rabbit suits?
Nicholas Holt.
It's
You
gonna
guys
turn
know
a-
Nicholas Holt?
It's going to be a whole fetish movie.
Nicholas Holt was Beast in the X-Men
Yeah, I'm
Days
not-
of Future Past.
I'm not interested in this unless they
He's
all
Thumper.
wear rabbit
Ho-
mascot
hopefully,
suits.
if the Watership Down series does well, they'll do a Plague Dogs miniseries.
live action Plague
live
Dogs.
action Plague Dogs. Raven Shadow's excited already.
It's got Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, Ben Kingsley, James
I was just telling them
McAvoy.
Raven Shadow in January. Nice special edition Blu-ray of Plague Dogs is coming out.
Oh man.
So you can get it. You can enjoy that in the comfort of your own home.
Oh yeah, just crying. No, I mean, I'm not saying Watership Down isn't an
Wait,
amazing.
is it a live action?
film.
I'm trying to think.
Well,
I
probably
thought-
CGI, right?
Yeah. I
It's
thought
like-
I don't know why. I must have been. Yeah, it's CGI. Yeah.
Because they're calling a live action fucking Lion King coming out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's-
here
it's-
you can see here. Okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah,
That's-
I can't.
Man, that Watership Down's
Josh,
a tough movie to
unless
sit
you make
through.
that
I remember
Scream
seeing it.
Factory deal happen.
Can this be like a PG-13
I'm gonna jump
one?
out the window like we talked about when you came here.
I remember seeing that movie for the first time when I was like
Can't
11.
guarantee.
Yeah.
That's a brutal
I
flick.
realized
I'm like,
something-
oh boy, a cartoon.
Yeah, it's
well,
awesome.
well, whereas you saw Plague Dogs in the theater, I saw Watership Down in the theater when I was like 5.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because my mom was like, "Oh, well, it's a cartoon with talking animals."
God.
I realized something fucking really hot.
There's a reality
today.
hit for you, huh?
Wolfie.
Jesus.
Yeah.
My fantasies of so every bad thing that's ever happened here, I've always had an out, right?
Yeah.
Every time I'm angry, I just figured I could fucking jump right out that window and end it all. I realized that not only is it not a very far fall, there's a fucking roof right below.
Yeah, you'll
So
bounce and roll.
I would just fucking fall onto that roof and
And
get my fucking scrape my elbow and roll off into like one of those wet bushes and
Yeah,
be sad.
because when he noticed the roof, I was also like, "Yeah," and then you'll roll off right into a bush. You'll be fine.
And I'll be fucking miserable. So I can't nothing. All my hopes and dreams are gone.
I don't know who this was, but someone on YouTube commented, "Good night, guys." It was Angry Townsman.
Good night, Angry Townsman.
Good night.
Good hearing
Sleep
from you.
tight.
And
Sleep
Angry
well, Angry.
Townsman is our new guest for New Guest November.
Yeah, there you go.
So unfortunately, I haven't had anything going for projection festival work. Missed all you guys at the Rock and Shock.
Yeah,
this
man.
year.
Miss you
Yeah,
too, bro.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That is still cool though. You've contributed to a few releases coming out, even if it's in just like with a trailer or something like that. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
yeah, it's it's cool that like a hobby of mine, it's really weird because like especially now when this stuff starts going into like streaming sites, so like that film Last House on Massacre Street, you can actually stream that on Amazon Prime, and like I've run the print that I have a few times, so I know how worn it is. So I can
Yeah.
actually start that up and be like, look, that's my print
Yeah.
Nice.
of that movie that's
really
on
cool.
Amazon Prime right now.
That is pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Other than that, there was just the that thing where I had to let the doctors take all my guts out.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, that kind of got in the way.
And they put him back in the right spot.
It seems like they did.
Josh has a pretty badass scar
Yeah.
right now.
The other interesting thing about that is when I go to the follow-up with the surgeon, and he assures me that there is nothing abnormal about any of my other lower organs. He was like, well, we had the intestines out, so we checked out your pancreas and your liver, and we felt around. There are no lumps.
You know,
well, that's good to
you
know.
know, I'll tell you, if somebody told me that my intestines were out, and they put them back into me and sewed me up and everything, the very first thing that I would think of is, Jesus Christ, I hope I shit right. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Out your nose.
They waited for that. They wouldn't let me out of the hospital until things started moving again.
Really?
Yep. So.
Oh. God damn. Just the thought of that. I mean, you hear about
We're
it. We're
sorry, we tied them up by accident. Nothing
I
going
mean,
through.
when you hear about it, you don't think, you know, it's like, oh, okay. But when you hear somebody talking about it that we know, and it's like,
yeah. Well, the other funny thing about it is, after the surgery, they didn't understand why I kept refusing all the hard painkillers, like, because they kept offering me like OxyContin and stuff.
Yeah.
And I pointed them out. I was like, you're not letting me out until I start, until things start moving. Why do you keep insisting that I take pills that will constipate me?
Yeah, but you know why you take them? Because you have friends that
want them from
go
you.
to their podcast, and maybe Christmas is coming.
They're not giving you a fistful of pills. They're giving you one pill, and they want you to swallow it right then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the hospital.
Just one?
In the hospital, they
How
give
many
you one
do you
pill.
need?
Yeah.
Don't worry about what I need, okay? No, it's not what you need, but have take something home with you, help you
It's
sleep.
the doggy bag you're interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that
That's funny, yeah.
They're like, well, these pills, they'll take away the pain, but they'll constipate you. By the way, we're not going to let you leave till you start going to the bathroom.
Right.
It's like, you have to have sex, but here's some Coke. No, it's not going to happen, dude. It's not gonna
Didn't work for John Holmes, and it's
Does
not
that
gonna
not work,
for you.
Raven Shadow?
It does. It has a negative effect on.
Ask John.
MZ's like, yeah.
Ask John
he
Holmes.
knows.
He'll tell you.
Coca-Cola, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, sugar's bad for you, John. You know that. I'm having fun with you.
But at least now I know everything's working good.
Good.
I know there's nothing abnormal about my liver.
Good.
And my
Shitting like a
pancreas
champ.
and my
Yeah, nice.
Raven Shadow's going to, when he needs a transplant, he's coming to you.
Josh, pick up. Listen, you don't need all your liver, okay? If someone was like, "Hey, your insides look great," I'd be like, "I want a second opinion." I'd go to Boston or L.A.
So like nobody lost a pinky ring or a junior mint didn't fall in there.
We'll find out eventually. But I did tell my wife to pay attention when we went to the follow-up. Now the surgeon seemed way too happy about telling me that everything else was fine. We felt around in there.
We felt around. There's nothing there.
Yeah, he just seemed a bit too chipper about me. I put my hands all over your insides.
I've been inside you, Josh.
They've touched places your wife has never touched.
Was his name Bueno?
Yeah. We're practically related.
Oh God! Just the thought of of intestines being outside the body, and then
was that one of your phobias?
It is now.
Shouldn't that be most people's phobia?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd want to see a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should, Josh. You should have taken a selfie with your organs in your hands.
But I was asleep.
That's the thing. I should have asked the doctor to do my phone.
Yeah.
Couple of photos.
I picture that scene of that dude from from Summer School when they're doing the fake horror massacre.
Yeah.
Is that your blood?
So what I should is contact the hospital and ask if there's any security camera footage of the operating room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
or if the head surgeon just rooted around through your things and found your cell phone and just started taking pictures.
Jesus.
But hopefully I'll be back at Rock and Shock next year. So
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely missed you this year, but totally understandable.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
Yeah. I mean, it was an awesome show and all, but man, it wasn't exactly right without you there, dude.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I was kind of bummed about is, I've been going to conventions for years. So now it's not super common that a convention actually announced a guest where I'm like, oh my God, I actually want to meet that person. And I've never met Ted Raimi. So for the first year, 5 years, Rock and Shock announced a guest where I was like, oh, I actually really want to meet that person.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Mars met him, and that's cool.
That's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm, two degrees from Ted Raimi?
One, right?
I'm glad you brought that up, Josh.
Two, I guess, yeah.
Wolfie.
Yeah,
we fucking hit the big time, me and you. I bought a boat yesterday and a plane to ride the boat around.
What'd you give me?
You can get your own thing. We're fucking famous now.
How so?
our fucking 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game right now is fucking strong. The strongest.
Yeah, it's 2 degrees, right?
It's 4, which is pretty good, right?
4?
Yeah.
Why isn't it 2?
I can't make it in 2.
Kevin Barber probably knows Kevin Bacon, right?
I doubt it.
Shit, yeah.
Maybe
He knows everyone.
Yeah, maybe could be. I didn't
So
think of
make
that.
even more money.
Yeah, we're fucking. We can do it if that's like 6.
All right. So who was? What were you thinking?
Well, you and I. We're in
yeah.
the fucking fine award-winning modern-day classic feature film Survival of the Film Freaks.
Right.
With Ted Raimi.
Yep.
Who was in the classic Darkman.
Oh yes.
With Liam
Neeson.
Neeson. Yeah. Who was in?
Who is going to be in An Honest Thief?
Right.
As Raven Shadow told us about.
I was there.
Yeah. Who was in Michael Collins with Julia Roberts? Who was in Flatliners with Kevin Bacon? That's fucking 4 away.
I think we could probably do better than
Wait,
that.
well,
You actually might be able because
I think you can do better.
Ted Raimi probably worked on something that Tom Savini also had like a cameo or something in, and then you can just go
You're right.
you to Ted Raimi to Tom Savini.
Was Tom
to Kevin
Savini in
Bacon.
Wishmaster?
I don't know.
Well, we can always
But
find
Tom
out.
Savini was in. Tom Savini did the special effects for Part 4, which
Tom Savini was in Maniac.
It's true.
We could do 2 degrees of Joe Spinell.
Well, thanks to Uncle Lloyd, we're also 2 degrees away from Kevin Bacon again.
True.
Because we were in Film Freaks with Uncle Lloyd,
Kaufman, yeah.
right? Who was in Slither and Guardians of the Galaxy with Michael Rooker.
Ted Raimi was
Who
in
was in
Wishmaster.
No, I knew Ted Raimi was. We were worried about Tom Savini.
Oh, Savini.
Ted Raimi gets squished right at the beginning. Who was in Super with Kevin Bacon? So
Boom.
I bought a fucking boat.
Do you know how to drive the boat?
Yeah, I know.
Mars, you don't actually win 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You don't get anything.
Well, I think that we're part of his entourage now, though. Right?
I don't know about that.
What up, Kev?
Jesus.
Why not?
KB?
Yeah, but you're 6 degrees back, so you're like 1,000.
Well, no,
feet.
yeah, no, I'm the guy that gets coffee or something, but that's fine. If we could, I mean, I wish we could be 6 degrees away from Jay-Z. That's probably a little more lucrative, but I'll take Kevin Bacon. Man, I feel so good about being famous. I had all these worries about money and stuff, but all I had to do is fucking just one documentary. I fucking made it. It's like Monster Zero literary-wise. I finally got a piece of the pie.
This was about a half hour ago, so I apologize. I haven't been paying as close attention to the chat room. But first time Mike popped in, said, "Happy Thanksgiving, family. Glad I could make it to hang out with you guys for a bit."
Happy chicken, buddy. Happy belated birthday.
Chicken? Did you say chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
eat
did.
chicken on Thanksgiving?
No.
You're doing it wrong.
No, it was an old reference that only like 4 people get, and none are listening.
2 of them are in this room,
Oh yeah, you get it. Yeah, Johnny gets it. Yeah.
and MZ probably gets it.
That's true. Yeah, we said it a lot. Happy chicken back in the day.
Yeah.
The Murr had gone out for a pre-Thanksgiving drink session many years ago, probably 15 years ago. And at the mini mart, there was a
Chicken?
No, there was a foreign gentleman who was rocking the reg, and as he's
Rocking the reg.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a term. It's a retail term, Johnny. Okay, you rock the reg.
I love the fact that you're trying to be PC. Was he Indian?
I don't know what he was, but he was just, he came from a foreign land, like we all did.
He was a person of color.
I don't know what he was, but he wasn't
My
from.
life is bad.
No, nothing wrong. He was fine. We had a job. He's fine.
I honestly, can we move to a studio that's higher?
Probably on like the 14th floor.
Yeah.
No, he's just a different person. And as we were leaving, he yelled, "Happy chicken, my friend!" And you had to be there. You had to be there in the context.
I wasn't there, so I don't get it.
Oh well, yeah.
And
Johnny.
4 people get it, so yeah.
Well, I found out.
Were you the one who was with me when the fucking guy sold us nails for the wrestling ring we were building, even though we didn't need them?
Yes, yeah.
I was like, he was like nails, and I'm like, he was like very Japanese. I was like, I don't need any nails.
Yes.
So he wouldn't stop, so we put him in a fucking bag, and then he went, "More!" I can't even do a high pitch like that. He goes, "More!" I ended up buying like $12 worth of nails. We didn't use a single nail.
Actually, funny story about the wrestling. I was at the Packy the other day.
Ooh.
Package store.
Okay.
Package store.
Or the liquor store.
Was someone rocking the reg?
They were, yeah. It was old Flo. But no, so I'm holding the door. A young lady's coming in the door, so I hold the door because I'm a fucking gentleman, Johnny.
Chivalry isn't dead.
It's not yet. Not yet. But I see the man over there that might have killed it. Monster Zero. So I open the door, and she's like, "Oh, hi, neighbor." I don't know who the fuck she is because I really stay away.
Oh, she
from
just
the
really
neighborhood.
loves Narragansett.
Narragansett.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Really? And I don't know who the people who live around me. I just go home and I stay there. I take Ollie out and I'm inside. I don't go outside.
Yeah, but you're like a rock star around the fucking neighborhood because you walk Ollie.
That's true. Yeah, everyone loves Ollie. So I'm like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "Oh, I live on so and so up the hill, whatever the fuck." And she's like, "Oh, I live down the bottom." And I'm like,
bottom.
The bottom.
The bottom.
And I'm like, a friend of mine that was his father's house many years ago. And she goes, "Oh, so you responsible for any of the wrestling activity that was down there?" And I said, "Yeah, I was a part of that." And she's like, "Yeah, the guy that bought it and modified it, whatever. I had a bunch of pictures of before and after." And I was like, "Well, I got some DVDs and other photos to show you sometime."
DVDs?
Yeah.
You want to buy them? Buy the Kobayashi Maru 3-pack?
Yes, exactly.
I don't want to see the name of it.
I'd say, what was it? Blood, Bees, and 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a different time. We're in
That'd be
like
honeybees?
Honeybees, yeah.
Yeah, the Killer Bees.
Yeah. Great tag team. But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, fuck to be Brian Blair.
Thank you, Iron Sheik.
I thought that story was going to go in a different place. I am so relieved.
Oh, yeah, no. It's just funny that.
I thought you were going to be like, my friend used to look at you naked.
No, she was much younger. She has there's a family in the bottom of the hill now. It's a nice family. They got a grill, and kids.
Hey, Raven Shadow,
Yes.
Corny wants to know, did you camp out in front of the pot store before it opened?
No. Like I said earlier, man. It's I don't know, man. That's very top 40 for me. It's kind of lame.
Top 40.
It's I can say the old-fashioned way. Go see a guy. It's tax-free.
Go see a guy.
Yeah, everyone has a guy.
Okay, if your guy suddenly disappeared,
Yeah.
you would go to that store because you would not be able to find another guy.
Listen, nature hates a vacuum. Okay, so one is always there's certain positions that you can always rehire for.
Yeah, but you would not know how to find another
What the fuck are you even talking about?
I don't know fucking guys.
Yeah, so you'd go to that store.
No, I know fucking. I've been down
don't
some
know
roads,
any
been
other
in some
guys.
rooms. I don't know any fucking drug dealers.
What if you got some edibles? You get some edibles.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Christmas is coming. I got a friend that likes that. But I got friends too. That's like the fucking Gordon Ramsay of pot food. He's very
Part food.
Part food. Part food. Part. I don't know what it is, but no, it's cool. I think the best part was on the local news. They were it was on all the fucking news. And there was an interview with a cop. So basically, okay, what's going to happen is it's going to open, and they have a shuttle bus bring you to the location.
Yep.
And then they're also going to have food trucks and a DJ. But also there'll be a police presence. So they cut to the chief of police of my town that this location's in.
Yep.
And it was great. He's like, "Nope, we're not here to cause a problem. We're going to treat this like any other Black Friday or new business opening. People can come in and get their marijuana. And then they can go about their business. We want people to be safe."
Marijuana, cigarettes.
Yeah, it was just like that. It was so so fucking lame.
You know, God, was that the chief though?
It was, yeah.
What's his name?
We don't care.
Well, yeah. Anyway, but we're taking a piss at him, and I understand why. But he was very anti-recreational pot use, and it was cool. It's cool that he showed up and didn't he didn't seem judgy and stuff by a lot of.
Well, he kind of had to.
Well, yeah, but he didn't have to not be a prick. Like God, I don't know how many run-ins with police that you've had in dealings with drugs, but they're usually cranky.
Yeah, they don't like that
He
kind
didn't
of stuff.
become chief because he's cranky in the public eye. He knows how to be a politician.
But no, Mars, you're right. And he did say he's like, while I think he made a point he didn't agree with it. It's legal now, and this is a thing, and it's cool. But yeah, it's like a fucking markup, man.
Where were they busing him in from?
Busing.
You said they got on a bus?
Yeah, they depart. I don't even know exactly where it is. I have an idea of where it is, and it's not going to play for anyone who doesn't live in the local area.
Like it wasn't the school, was it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got buses.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm thinking.
No, it's down. It's past the Walmart near a Breezy Bend.
Okay, so you don't know exactly where.
Well, I know it's on Route 9.
Okay.
So it's like off the street near my house. So it's near like Breezy Bends, which is like a different kind of near the drive-in.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let me catch up on the chat room. First time Mike says, "Oh hell yeah, I love Jim Cotta."
Thank you.
That was like a half hour ago.
That was the first time, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving.
Evil Corny says, "I want Raven Shadow to be Man of the Year in Indonesian Time magazine."
Thank you, Evil Corny.
First time Mike says, "Real Indonesian people doing real Indonesian things."
And they fucking run amok. They are fucking out of control over there. I can't wait.
Evil Corny says, "Plague dogs traumatized the hell out of me back in the day."
See?
He says, "I need to tell Julie about that plague dogs."
Tell everybody, buy the new Blu-ray.
Yeah. And first time Mike says, "I've worked around registers for 30 years, and I've never heard the phrase rockin' the reg."
Come on. I think that phrase was actually coined by Reggie Bannister.
Yeah, rockin' the reg.
Does not refer to working a register.
If the reg is a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Yeah, rock around the register at the Black Friday.
Wow.
Hop. Yeah.
Is anyone doing any Black Friday stuff?
I'm fucking working.
Fuck that noise.
At midnight.
Well, I guess you got it, right? Oh, you going in at midnight?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Sucks.
That's
usually when I'm fucking snapping the carrot, too, so it's going to be a strange conflict of interest.
Someone's looking for a Macho Man action figure while you're fucking stroking it. Oh, yeah.
And it takes me a while. I'm no
Cream
Bruce
of the
Lee.
crop. Oh, yeah.
I do. That's what I make, the cream of the crop.
Cup of coffee, yeah.
Who you?
Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth.
Dick Cream over here.
Dick Cream.
What's your name?
Dick Della Creme.
Dick Della
Dick Della Creme.
The creme of the crop.
The creme of the crop. Cup of creme.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, man. The only thing I'm buying on Black Friday involves tobacco and hops. I ain't fucking going. I ain't doing that.
What am I doing Black Friday? I don't go shopping. If anything, I might. I actually have a bunch of money saved up on Amazon. I don't know if any of you guys have an Amazon credit card, but
go to our link.
I can't because it's my account.
Oh, for Christ!
No.
Oh, for Christ's
sake!
Christ's sake!
Oh, for Christ's sakes, anti-fraud laws.
Just in case you weren't sure, MZ, all the money comes out of my bank account for the podcast.
Oh.
So it goes back into my bank account when we make money, okay? If it gets to such a point where we're making enough money, I'll get a separate bank account. But for now, no. So I can't do that. Let's see. Where was I going to go next? All right. Well, I guess we got some voicemail.
There you go.
We hear from Evil Corny.
Nice.
Hey guys, this is Evil Corny. This week I watched May the Devil Take You. I really enjoyed the film. It had everything except for, I guess, a polar bear with little feet. Raven Shadow knows what I'm talking about with that polar bear. It's part of Richard Pryor's story. You all have a good Thanksgiving. Evil Corny out. What up, Raven Shadow?
What up, Evil Corny?
Oh yeah, and the rest of you guys.
Yeah, the other ones.
Evil Corny out.
What? The other ones? What the fuck?
That's my dude back there.
What is he talking about?
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
There's an old bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reference.
No.
What about
Great
people out
explanation.
there? Yeah, people out there that don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about the Richard Pryor.
Aren't you gonna hip them to the reg?
Oh man, rock the rich.
Rock the ref?
Rock
The
the
reference?
ref,
Huh?
yeah.
You gonna rock the ref?
I
You don't know.
I don't know. I'm
Never
sorry.
mind.
Corny.
Never mind.
I was
God.
going along. If I remember.
Jesus Christ.
Things are catching up in the brain department.
No, you mean they're not catching up.
I don't know what they're doing or not doing. I'm not sure what. I really want to, and I feel bad. Let Corny down.
First time Mike says Reggie Bannister's the man. Enough said.
There you go.
And he also says, me and my youngest sister are going out for a bit tomorrow night. I'm planning on getting a Roku Ultra.
Tomorrow
All right.
night?
For Black Friday deals. Yeah, a lot of them start on fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you got to go out wait in line at 10 p.m. for the stores to open at midnight.
10 p.m. I'm happy that we're not one of the malls that are opening at 5:30 tomorrow. A lot of the Rhode
That's
Island ones,
bullshit.
yeah.
That's a bunch of
sucks.
bullshit.
You're working it, dude?
He said he's going to midnight.
Ugh, God, that sucks.
All right.
What else am I gonna fucking do? You know,
apparently you want to snap the carrot.
Well, I'll have to fucking do that on the way there, or some fucking.
Yeah.
God bless Uber.
Right.
Yeah, do you have to pay extra for that one?
Yeah. Yeah. So long as they supply the lotion.
Oh boy! All right, well let's hear from FTM. First time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing? And hello to Arkham Josh.
Hello.
Good to see and hear from you, man. It's always I always enjoy your reviews, and I hope all is well with you, my friend. On to the subject of the reissuing of classic and not so classic movies and other things on physical media once again. I'm all for this, but I admit a lot of the releases these days I can't get everything I want to because at $20 to $30 a pop for a lot of these quality Blu-rays, a Vinegar Syndrome or Scream Factory or even an Arrow that's a treat purchase for me. That's I got a good discount or a coupon purchase for me because I can't. The days of me getting all the videos that or DVDs or Blu-rays that I wanted to, those are gone right now. And it's good to see though because I think that these movies should be appreciated as much as movies like in the Criterion Collection or something. I love on my Raw Forest Blu-ray, I love the extras. And watching the extra when I got the Beyond Blu-ray by Grindhouse, I watched right after I watched the Beyond. I was watching the special features Blu-ray. So I love that part of it, but also there's things like I believe Arrow did a Demons and Demons 2 as steel books that were supposed to have the a Demons 3 comic book, the official quote unquote official sequel that was told in these comic pages. I don't think I've ever seen it on sale or seen hide nor hair of the comic book. I would have loved to get it if only just for the comic book. Because that's a story I always would have. The Demons movies, especially the first two, were stories I always wanted to see continued. And again, those good steelbooks, especially if they're import, that's out of my reach. But that's neither here nor there. I know my friends. A lot of my friends will have the Blu-rays. For me, I'm just happy to see the movies right now. Maybe down the road when, after the car's done getting paid off, maybe I can fill in some holes in the collection I want to. But it's nice to see it because I think for to have future generations see the movies that we grew up to love in the late 70s and 80s and 90s and beyond. And, that's a good thing too. So with Thanksgiving coming up, I want to wish everybody the best. Wish all the MZ, hope you get better.
Thanks, man.
And everybody, just take the time, thank, for the joys in life, your loved ones. And again, wishing you guys all the best. I do have a question for Arkham Josh. Josh, what's a movie or two that you'd love to get a hold of to show at one of your film festivals? Doesn't have to be grindhouse or exploitation. It can be as well known or as obscure of movies as you can. But what are some of the holy grails of stuff that you would love to show to the masses? Everybody, this is First Time Mike wishing you all the happiest of Thanksgiving from Milwaukee. Goodbye.
All right, First Time Mike. Thanks, buddy. Always a pleasure to hear from you. And I know originally some of the conversation was going to veer towards physical re-releases of classic cult films, but since I think we'll probably hold off on that greater discussion until we're able to get Brandon. I actually just heard from Brandon. He apologized and said that he was actually still getting stuff ready for the Black Friday sale that they're doing. So totally understandable. Vinegar Syndrome also, if you guys weren't aware, also have a retail location. So, they have a lot of stuff going on with the retail location and then also with Vinegar Syndrome. So
road trip.
Yeah, we still got to make it down there. We should do that sometime soon and do some video and show people how fucking awesome the archive is. So no problem, and I apologize if anyone was looking forward to hearing Brandon. We'll make it happen soon. Obviously, they're probably pretty busy with the holidays, so maybe we'll catch back up with him down the road a bit. So, all right, Josh, did you get the question from First Time Mike?
Yes, and I thought about it a little bit. One film probably just popped into mind because it's already come up a few times tonight, but man, I would love to subject an audience to an actual print of Plague Dogs. I mean, it is one of my all-time favorite films.
Yeah.
And something that's probably a little bit more in line with the genre stuff, but not necessarily probably what you'd think of me to choose. There's a fairly underrated 90s slasher film from the post-Scream boom. I would love to find a print of Cherry Falls.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there has a has a beat on Cherry Falls film print, get in touch with Josh or us.
The only real disappointing part is that notoriously a lot was cut out of the movie for its R rating.
Yeah.
And there was never a release anywhere of the uncut version.
Oh.
So it's generally assumed that there is no prints or anything that were ever circulated of the uncut version. But apparently there was I think something like 4 or 5 minutes cut out of the film. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Interesting. So there you go. First Time Mike. There's some some of Josh's picks. MZ, do you have just off the top of your head? Do you have one? If you were running a film festival or something like that, if you were in Josh's position and collected film prints, is there one that you holy grail for you?
Oh boy! Wow. Damn. That's a good question.
It's a tough one, too.
That is a tough one.
You can think about it if you want.
Yeah, give me some time.
First Time Mike says, thanks, Josh. And he said he had little baby feets. I don't know who had little baby feets. Anyways.
Raven Shadows.
Maybe it was in reference to Evil Corny. Evil Corny says, Richard Pryor's Mudbone character tells a story about a voodoo woman named Mrs. Rudolph who was going to help remove a curse from someone. That's what it was in reference to, Raven Shadow?
I'm blanking on that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corny buddy.
Well, apparently too much pot at the dispensary already.
No, stop it.
Too much time spent waiting in line.
Yeah.
No, man. Actually, I'm going to throw a third title into the mix.
Go for it.
And it is a kind of an off-the-beaten-path film that I love. I know Raven Shadow loves.
Nice.
And we have brought it up in conversation in here before, but it is not really available. And that is the Penelope Spheris film, Dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dudes, yeah.
Josh,
man.
I am so happy you're fucking here. Because, I was thinking about, if I was asked that question, Johnny, was Dudes. And that conversation came up today. I'll tell you
with
fucking
Flea.
why. With Flea.
Yeah.
And
John
Chris
Cryer.
John Cryer.
Yeah.
And Chris Penn.
Yep.
He was the Weston.
Yeah.
But funny thing about that, why that came up today was the announcement that John Cryer is playing Lex Luthor in the Supergirl TV show.
Wow.
Which I can only assume because a big thing the CW does, and it goes back to Smallville like I always do, is they tend to grab people from, previous superhero movies or genres and put them in new roles.
Yeah.
Annette O'Toole from Lana Lang to Martha Kent. Chris Reeve, Michael Kidder was on Smallville. John Wesley Shipp is now on Flash. But John Cryer played Lenny Luthor in Superman 4, which was Lex's nephew. So, Dudes. And in fact,
that wasn't Chris Penn.
No, it was Daniel Roebuck.
Daniel Roebuck,
yeah. Daniel Roebuck, who was also he had a very memorable character in the film River's Edge.
Oh yeah, love that movie.
Good movie, yeah.
And also, Aries still has my VHS copy of Dudes, which I let him borrow back in 1990.
What? Does he still have it?
Yeah, no, I do not have it.
Oh shit!
Oh, shit.
Ravenshire, you still got a VCR?
I have one that I'm not sure if it works still.
All right.
So what does it
But-
matter if I have a VHS?
I'm gonna buy one.
Well, because I was going to say, next time I come up,
Yes.
I'll bring you a VHS of Dudes.
Oh,
Really? I would love that for my shelf, Josh. That would be amazing.
Because I have 2.
Really?
No.
I would love a VHS copy of Dudes.
Yeah.
That would be excellent.
All right.
Now I'm gonna buy one. I dig
Yeah,
it
because
the most.
that movie's it's not on DVD or anything.
okay.
Yeah, so if I ever came across a print of that, that'd be pretty cool.
I would be there. I would stay awake for that, Josh. I'll tell you that much.
Stay awake. No, you
and,
wouldn't.
And for the record, I've tried to return that a number of times. You've always said no.
No, I don't think no. I think I've asked for it like a couple
No.
times.
No, you've never asked for it. I've always offered it, and you said no.
No, you called me a motherfucker and said you were going to keep it.
All right, we have one more voicemail. Now this.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
This
I-
one goes
I
back.
wanted you to have it.
Raven Shadow,
Yes.
shut up and listen. This one goes back a bit. We had, speaking of flashbacks and speaking of Finland, you had asked Vesa to review a movie a while
really?
ago, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what movie that was?
Nurse Betty.
Here is Vesa's Nurse Betty review.
Hello, Trick or Treat Radio. This is Vesa, and I'm finally calling in about Raven Shadow's hidden gem film recommendation called Nurse Betty.
I can't wait.
It's been quite a while since I asked you guys about your hidden gem film recommendations, and it's been taking a while to get them and watch them. And I was finally able to convince my fiancée to watch Nurse Betty. And the reason why it's been difficult to watch it with her is because she really dislikes Renée Zellweger. I'm not a big fan of hers either, but I don't have such bad feelings for her as much as my fiancé does. But yeah, I did have to watch some Adam Sandler with her first before we could do it. And he's not one of my favorites either.
Team player, brother.
Yeah, about the film. I think it was quite a nice surprise. I never really paid much attention to the film back when it came out in 2000 or so. It just seemed the kind of typical romantic comedy or something like that. But I was really surprised to see that it was it was partly like that, but it was also a crime film with some really nice performances and some really unexpected turns and even violence. And I must say that Aaron Eckhart's character was really the high point of the film. He was really great at playing this sleazeball husband for Renée Zellweger's character Betty, and I wish he was in the film more. And I also liked Morgan Freeman's performance, and it was kind of interesting to see him as a criminal. I can't think many films where he wouldn't play more like a good guy type of role. And Chris Rock was also in the film, but I think he was just being Chris Rock.
Fair.
And I'm not really fan of his acting or the kind of character he usually plays, but I think he managed to make me laugh once or twice, so I guess it's not so bad. And as for Renée Zellweger, I guess it was kind of typical role for her also, but with a twist, because she really had some mental issues in the film. And yeah, I must say overall that I really enjoyed the film, and I'm thankful to Raven Shadow for recommending it to me, because I probably would have never watched it otherwise. And I don't think it's the kind of film that I will be watching many times in my lifetime. But it's definitely an interesting little film that I think is worth watching. And yeah, that's it for the review of Nurse Betty. And I must say that I'm excited to hear the next episode you are doing, because I'm a fan of Vinegar Syndrome, and it's great to hear that you have an interview with Brandon from the company. And I'm really looking forward to their Black Friday sale, as every year I do. And I think this time I will go with their massive yearly package, because I'm starting a new job next week, so
nice.
I have some disposable income.
Good, man.
Nice. So that should be fun times ahead of me in the next year. And yeah, thank you guys for being so awesome, and see you next time. Bye.
All right, Vesa. Awesome, man.
Good to hear from him.
Yeah, great to hear from you. And that was maybe 100 episodes in the making or something like that. I don't remember exactly how long, but
it's been a while. I know he had to find one that could play on his region.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and I know he got it. But that was awesome. That was that's so fucking cool, dude. And yeah, like I said, it was something that I would never have watched, and Joytron discovered it. I forget, by accident. It might have been on cable.
I think it was.
And yeah, and we just really adored it. But that's cool, dude. I kind of want to hear a review about how your fiance, why she hates Renee Zellweger. That'd be very funny to me. But yeah, man. And listen, if you got disposable income, dude, listen, October, all right, 2019.
Yeah.
America. We're sorry for a lot of stuff, but come to New England, dude. That'd be awesome.
Well, I think he has disposable income to buy a few DVDs. I think or Blu-rays. I think so.
No, I'm not sure what the exchange rate is.
But no, that was awesome, Vesa. Thank you for calling in your thoughts about Nurse Betty. Raven Shadow had recommended that one.
Yeah.
And it was good to hear from you, and glad to hear things are going well. Always a pleasure to hear from you. And I apologize we weren't able to deliver on the interview with Brandon from Vinegar Syndrome, but Black Friday was a little too much. It was bad timing on our part. So, but we will make that happen eventually with Brandon. We'll get him on, because Brandon's a good dude, and he lives, well, I say right down the road, but really it's 2 states away. But
in the global context,
yes,
he lives right down the road.
Exactly. Compared to you, Vesa, he's right down the road.
Yeah, fair.
So thank you again, and always a pleasure to hear from you, my friend. And let's see. I think that's it. Well, something else. I thought there's something else I was going to mention, but that's it for feedback. I don't think we have any tweets. Let me just take a real quick look and see. There's a lot of, follow Friday type of deal things. And I think that was probably it. You just want to hear the Chocolate Beast song, huh?
No, I want to go home and figure out how I'm going to stay up all night long so I can get my sleeping where I need it to be.
Watch some movies.
I'll fall asleep.
The longer you're here, then the...
Yeah. We'll keep going. Want to go all night?
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah.
Let's marathon this.
Yeah. And, all right. Do you guys have anything else before we start to wrap up here? Oh, Mars. Did we get confirmation? I think we have confirmation next week, right? Or do you want to just leave it a surprise?
Yeah, we'll leave it a surprise, because I feel like
we'll talk about it on social media.
I did my finishing move at one point after the person said yes. So
his finishing move is to write a response and not send it.
Yeah.
So I think we have our guest all squared away, but it seems like we just need to kind of cross some T's and dot some I's. But
scratch out some I's.
If it's the person, if it all happens and it works out, it's someone who we've wanted to have on for a while. Someone who is a long-time podcaster, and
Aries beard.
Harry's beard, yes. So, but we will post on social media as soon as we get confirmation, as soon as that is all taken care of, and then we will also post which film we're going to be doing. At this point, it looks like most of the films we're going to review for the rest of this month, one more week, and then December are already probably out. Unless there's something... Oh, there is one coming out December 11th that we're going to do. But aside from that, I think a lot of it is catching up on stuff that happened earlier in the year.
There's a... Blumhouse just put out a movie
Cam.
on fucking Netflix 3 days ago.
It's Cam. Yeah.
Netflix is so fucking fast that the movies are coming out before we get the press for them.
Yeah.
Right. It hits like festivals, and then like 3 days later, it's out.
It's like literally, I got a press release today that was like, "Hey, check out this movie that came out on Monday."
Well, it's even like I mentioned you. Like I think Blumhouse is involved in a series of films that are going straight to Hulu.
Yep.
The series is titled Into the Dark. Like each film has its own title.
Yeah.
And they've been putting out like one a month for the past 3 months. And from what I can tell, they seem to be like what would be like straight to video films.
Have any of you guys seen the Purge TV show?
No.
No,
I guess it got renewed, I think.
I've seen the ads. You know.
Oh, great! Thanks. You want to review the ads? How'd the ads look?
Well, what he's saying is, I know it exists.
Thank you, Josh.
I recently discovered that it exists.
I saw the commercial. See, Josh, you fucking know me so well. And that just makes me smile.
Catch on.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm a translator.
He is from Rhode Island, though, so.
Yeah, exactly. I understand coffee, milk, and Buddy CNC.
See?
And Dell's.
The Water Fire, Dell's.
Yeah.
The Water
Cheesecake
Fire.
Factory.
Safari Lounge.
Yeah.
Right? See, don't tell me, right?
Don't tell me.
Right. Trinity Brew House. I've been there.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You know the Cadillac Lounge and
I think you know that too. I think we were there together. Balloons.
Aries, do we need to give you a beer? Start giving you a beer a secret, its own review, like its own trick or treat. That thing's getting.
Has my beard offended you?
No, it's fucking majestic.
Thank you.
Hasn't offended me. It's enlightened me. It's the eighth wonder of the world.
It completes him.
It does complete me. I can't beard. I can't quit you.
I'm a little attached to it. So.
Literally. All right.
It's getting cold out.
Tree beard.
It is. I guess we're going to go around and start saying our goodbyes. But first of all, before we do that, want a big thank you to Josh for coming in because been a while since we've seen Josh, and it was awesome, being able to have him back in studio. Josh, let's make it sooner than the last time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did already promise Raven Shadow a gift.
Awesome. There you go.
Yeah, so now I know he's going to be like, "Oh, where's my tape?"
I was just fucking thinking about that too. I'm like,
where's my tape? So
I'm gonna get a VCR.
No surgery's going to save you this time.
So we'll have to make plans sooner than later.
Okay, that sounds great to me.
Maybe early in the new year.
Okay,
I'll let you guys get past the cram jam.
All right.
So, I know you guys are gearing up for it.
See, that's still not going to stop him from texting you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where's my gift?
Josh, I have a question.
Christmas is
What?
When your guts came out, did a cheeseburger fly out?
I don't know because I told you when my guts were out, I was unconscious.
I wish they had done that for me.
You're the only person that a cheeseburger came out of their stomach.
Yeah.
A full cheeseburger.
It's double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
But if that happened, it would have indicated a larger problem because why would it be in my abdominal cavity,
Yeah.
but not inside my guts?
So I don't know what's going on in there.
What's on the wrong pipe?
Yeah.
It's
Double cheese.
And unless it
double
was whole,
pickles,
how would you know it was a
mayo,
cheeseburger?
Motherfucker.
That's even weirder.
See,
Did it
these
have
are questions
pickles?
that Mars has never asked. A cheeseburger came flying out of him.
Did it come with pickles? I mean,
I think what happened is somebody walked into the room, shot me in the back with a cheeseburger shotgun, and it flew right out one hole, right in one hole and out the other.
There was an
I
epidemic
think
of
at
that.
that velocity, the cheeseburger would just hit you and smush.
Well, no, it
I
missed
mean,
me.
it would hurt.
It kind of missed me. It went through like one hole and went out the other. Like it was a hole in my back, and then a hole in my stomach. It just flew through.
Oh, so the holes were already there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
The magic cheeseburger.
Magic cheeseburger theory?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Back and to the left.
Back to your gut.
Back and through the gut. Back and through the gut.
You know what the vegetarian version of that's called, Raven Shadow?
What's that?
The grassy knoll.
Ooh.
Can we go now?
Oh my.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to. You guys keep talking.
I literally want to masturbate. So
You're the
bad.
one that's
Jacking
been
off
dragging this
turtle.
on.
Oh, here we go.
It's so cold outside. I don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't want to
I
go.
just
either.
want to live.
Just hang out here.
I just want to live
It
in
is.
Aries.
The heat is nice. in
Yeah,
here,
I
right?
want to live in
feel
Aries
good.
beard
Yeah.
until like April.
Until April.
Yeah.
I did buy a new heater for the upstairs, but it doesn't help where I am at all. So
All right, so thanks again, Josh, and happy holidays to you, my friend. And hopefully we get to hang out with you again early in the new year. So, and Josh, is there any social media or anything you want to promote before we say goodbye?
I mean, you can search for me. I'm on the Facebook and Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I never use it.
Twitter's where it's at, man.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how many fucking Timos of Facebook does?
Yeah.
True.
I'm not hard to find if you're looking for me.
Are you right there?
Yeah.
The fuck?
All right, so let's go around the room and say goodbye. MZ.
Yeah,
Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Marsman.
We didn't say we're fucking thankful for this year. Thank goodness. I hate
I was thinking about
that.
that, yeah.
MZ did it at the beginning.
You
actually.
missed the opening.
Oh, good.
Oh, you guys want to do that real quick?
No.
No.
I am thankful for less and less every year. The only person that got a fucking clean diagnosis was disappointed.
Check it again.
Yeah, remember, children. It's broken. Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
I'm thankful for David Arquette versus Nick Gage.
MDK.
Actually, this isn't a thankful thing. I was going to say this anyways, but I want to give a huge shout out to my girl T-Dog, who won her fucking second bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
She hasn't done it in 14 years, and then she comes back, does 2 within 2 weeks, and wins them both. So,
And she had my favorite quote of the week last week.
which was?
She was describing the other competitor, that saying that she was built like a brick greenhouse.
A brick greenhouse, yeah.
And that's very funny to me and fucking awesome. And it should be a T-shirt.
Murder, death, kill.
MDK.
You sure that quote wasn't Raven Shadow,
GA.
shut up or I will pummel you into the ground?
That was less than I saw her at Suspiria. She said that.
GV, gang of GA. Gang affiliated.
Gang affiliated?
Yep.
So I'm she's pretty much my hero. So it's pretty fucking outstanding. So, well, that is going to do it for this episode of Trick or Treat Radio, episode 330. Want a big shout out to Josh for coming in, hanging out with us.
You know,
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, Josh almost bled to death in a helicopter. Oh wait, I got
That's
Josh
Nick
Nick
Gage
Gage
again, yeah.
messed up all the
Messed
time.
And big thanks to Timo for making another fucking film for us to discuss.
Keep them coming.
So next week we will announce on social media who our guest is and what our movie is, and we'll let you guys know. You can play along at home, and everyone out there, if you hear this before Thanksgiving, have a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, or if you don't, whatever you celebrate, Indigenous Peoples Day, I'm all for that. I know Mars is going to get surly if I talk more about it, so I'm going to go. But that is it. So we will see you guys next week for episode 331. We'll have another guest with us, and we'll have a good time. So we'll see you guys then.